Name game. Hello, everybody. Hello, I'm Trooper SJP, and this is the Academic Foxhole. And it's PS4 Saturday. How are you? What are you doing? How's it going? What's new? What's the word? What's happening? Um, what's the 411? Um, what's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's hey. How are you? Um, wait. So Trooper has a hard out today. I do. Why do optometrists set their clocks to military time? They want their patients to see 2020. Krillin says, I can hear you moving the microphone, Trooper, so you can talk. The word is be kind. Short Round said so. Hey, everybody. How are you? I thought that bird was the word. I mean, I suppose Short Round is correct. So, hi, everybody. Hi. What's up? I'm here. I'm excited. We're playing the Outer Worlds today. It's Saturday. So, let me see. There are things. I was just checking my audio to make sure everything was fine, which it should be. So, I actually have a question. Point one. Actually, the link to the Ironsworn game is in the what is this command. Not right now. It's no longer what is this, but it's the so I wrote down last night that I had to put the link to the website in my command, but it actually was already there. So, you know, there's that. Look, I want to talk about stuff. Did I do my intro? Did I do all of it? I said who I was, so what we're playing. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Also, I don't think I have. Oh. Time of Gifts gave some community subs, is what it looks like. But 7 minutes ago. But it doesn't tell me who got them. That means I have to look somewhere else. I'm going to sing. I bet Stream Elements will tell me. Will you tell me? Stream Elements? Because I think I've got some singing to do. Yes. Stream Elements tells me. Stream Elements has got my back. Some other programs don't have my back, and they don't tell me what's what. But Stream Elements has my back. Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm seeing Vermlumen, Barantor, Wandering DM, A Pantalone, and Sukutak. Thank you, Krellin. Yeah, turns out not everybody wants me to have this information, but the information cannot be stopped. What did I want to tell you? Oh, what was it? Oh, it was something with 3 syllables. Was it the name game? Come on, everybody. I said, now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name, I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B on F, on M will appear. And then I say bow out of B, then I say the name, then banana, fatter, and foe. Then I say the name again with an F, very plain. Then a fee, fi, and a mo. And I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. Verum lumen, bo verum lumen, banana fana for verum lumen, fee fi mo verum lumen, verum lumen, But if the first two letters are ever the same, I drop them both and say the name. I like Bob. Bob drop the B's, Bo, oh Fred. Fred drop the F's for red. Oh Mary, Mary drop the M's, Mo, airy. That's the only rule that is contrary. Barentor, Bo, Arentor, banana fana for Ferentor, V5, Mo, Merentor. Barentor, Wandering DM, Bo, Wandering DM, banana fana for Fondering DM, Fee, Fi, Mo, Mondering DM. Wandering DM, a Pantalone, Bo, Pantalone, banana fana for Fantalone. No, that's not right. A Pantalone. A Pantalone, Bo, Pantalone, banana fana for Pantalone, Fee, Fi, Mo, Pantalone. A Pantalone, Sakutak, Bo, Batutak. Nope, wait. Sakutak, Bo, Kutak, banana feta for Kutak, Fee, Fi, Mo, Makutak. Sakutak, the name game. Ooh, there are some good ones in there. Oh, very good. Thank you for those gift subs, time of gifts. Thank you very much. It is much appreciated. And also, yay. Can't stop the signal. Is Baron Lumen also searching for library? Maybe. Some good ones. Hey, Roller 300. Kitchen Bretland says, good evening, morning, afternoon, Trooper in chat. Hope you all are having a good Saturday. I am having a good Saturday. I came past my bedtime. I did not wake up super early, so I did not take my bike ride, and I will not be able to take my bike ride because I'm modding, I think until like from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. It might be till 11. Anyway, I'm modding like 6 or 7 hours, but I can take my bike ride tomorrow, because I'm modding from noon to 4, I think, something like that, which means I can take my bike ride after. I can take it afterwards, which I think will be really nice. And I am going to be responsible and not go to bed at o'clock tonight, and it'll be good. Yeah, this shirt is from Rissa. It's a present. Kid Trooper has more time. Oh, Roller 300. That would be really nice if I could has more time, because it's a little bit shocking and scandalous. All the things that are rapidly approaching me. Rapidly. Oof. Is the weather cool enough out there for a late afternoon bike ride? That's a very good question. It was getting really bad, but I hope that it won't be. I hope that it'll be, because I can also take one a little bit later in the evening, if that is going to be necessary for weather purposes. Just call Elminster. There was a book that I read in middle school. By the way, it does not cool down until well after the sun is going out. Are you equipped for night biking? I am, actually. I got myself equipped for night biking because when I was doing that like big long, when I did my century, it took like 7 hours, so I had to be prepared. So I am prepared for night biking. I'm kitted out. I am going to, by the way, I feel like I should do this. I'm gonna just slide over to the game so that we can do this while we're chatting. Because, you know. I have a question, not for you. PS4. What happens if I do this? Not that. What happens if I do this? Nothing. Doesn't make a difference. It's just that I'm getting a single, like, you don't care, but I'm just getting a single signal out of, I'm just getting a single signal out of the PS4, but I think it's fine for y'all. That's all. I just was like, it just looks like it's coming in mono. That's it. Roller, I want to talk to you about Crash Jones. That's what I want to do. I want to talk about Crash Jones. I'm glad I'll get to see a little of the game today before I have to dash off. Oh, this is this the game you have with Bill? What's the game? But will we get past the intro screen? Yeah. I think we have to walk. So I feel like because we're walking, you know, we get to play a little bit. Yes, GURPS on Mars. Oh, how's that going, by the way? How's the GURPS on Mars game? Also, Rissa, you didn't tell me about your character. What's happening in this GURPS game, GURPS on Mars game? I want to hear about it. Well, we have 20 minutes. As we walk the walk, we talk the talk. And sometimes we just talk the talk. Okay, so look, I need to talk to you about Crash Jones. So there are things that I'm like, oh, okay, let me make sure we've got some, like, you know, connections between Crash Jones and the Gamblers. But there are all these things that I did not pick. Do you know what I mean? Like, I did not pick them. I rolled on the oracles and these things come up, right? Or they happen the other way around, right? So, like, I had Millie Balak have a cybernetic arm. But Lindy had not created her character yet. And I don't think Lindy actually watched Crash Jones. And when she was making her character, she rolled for your life path, and the life path came up that she was given a cybernetic implant. And she looked through the cybernetic implants to see which one she thought would be cool. And she picked the arm. But, you know, and so here's the thing about that I think is really interesting, at least for me. What I think is very interesting is that, that there are all these parallels to characters that we know in the Gamblers, but they're not all exactly the same. They get mixed up in interesting ways, right? It even looks like the West Wing. It does even look like the West Wing. Hi. Weird hotel lobby. That's really far away. Well, also, I feel like this is the way we came in. I feel like this is where, yeah, this is definitely 100% where our ship is. So my question then becomes, who are we going to talk to? Well, I suppose we'll find a way. I suppose we'll just find a way. Is that where we want to go? Over there? I mean, it looks very grand, doesn't it? Well, I suppose we'll find out. Krellin says, in my Dark Heresy game, we have a recurring joke about pulp heroes named Solid Brad and Liquid Matt. Ooh. And possibly Plasma Kate soon because I'm sometimes evil. Well, I love that. And then the player that started it made the author of Solid Brad his character in our Rogue Trader game. Oh, I love that. So, I didn't, ooh, can I just, no, I cannot. Oh, that's Ellie, which means I don't think we're being watched. And I think you know what that means. Also, I don't think we've been in this building before, which means the reason why I think we haven't been in this building before is because it's not been looted, which means it's going to be looted right now. Plasma Kate is good. I like that. Um, how many of y'all remember the Ghostbuster cartoon with the talking car uh, and gorilla who had jorts and Indiana Jones hat? Was that actually Ghostbusters, or was that I feel like, what was the name of that? That wasn't. Oh, I do remember it. I remember this gorilla. What was it? Oh gosh. Hmm. Hmm. Ooh. Hey, I'm feeling really excited about liberating these items from these places so that the people are not bound by materialism. You know, because I feel like that's really bad and unhealthy for them. And I'm just trying to help out. Let's see. We came in from that door. More things to steal. Yes, I know what I was saying. I'm going to read the chat too. But what I was saying is, what's interesting to me is that the characters, Crash Jones, well, basically all the characters are kind of interesting mashups of the characters from from the Gamblers, but in like different ways. In the sense that, for example, you have the evil Baron Severinus Winter, who, well, that makes sense, right? That's clearly Severance. I did not make up the name Severinus. That was the game. That was the Oracle. I rolled the Oracle, and that is what came up, which I think is wild. But, so you could think, oh, well, that's Severance. But the evil Zodani spy, Severinus Winter, could also be the Harlock, right? So there's a way in which that, because Severinus is Zodani, right? So there's a way in which then Baron Winter is also kind of like a mashup between. Oh.
I'll keep it down.
Yeah, I want to steal this, and that person is currently not looking at me, so we're gonna just.
How'd you do that so fast?
Just time, practice. Oop. Right. So that's like a kind of mashup of both of them in a way. Crash Jones is a Solomani hero, which is kind of like Quint, but also a millennial old World War II pilot, which is kind of like Severance, kind of. Millie Balak is a shady archaeologist, which is kind of like Quint, but there are also some things that also make Millie Balak kind of like the Harlock, and also the pilot Crash Jones is also being sort of like good-hearted and being a good-hearted type is also like Terrica. Yeah, there's just all these, and of course, there's some people that are not at all parallel to anyone. Lily Vargas. Hello. I would pickpocket you, but it doesn't look like you have any kind of pickpocketing things, which is so sad. Because who doesn't want to be pickpocketed or to pickpocket others? Anyway, the point is that there are all these like interesting parallels that like I didn't necessarily plan, but then sort of came through, and I just think that's really interesting. And then there are these sort of stories that sort of happen in some spaces that end up showing up in others, right? And like I did not pick that when they went to this like the index, right? The arc-like index, the big cube. I rolled to find out what kind of areas of the derelict they ran into. And it was all medical stuff with like blood and body parts. I was like, oh, well, this is very much like Mary Moore's secret lab. I didn't like, and I just think it's really fascinating that these parallels are happening because I love it. That's, yeah. That's all I'm saying. Let me see. I remember the Ghostbusters who were the real Ghostbusters, not the real Ghostbusters. Mm. Actually Ghostbusters. Magilla Gorilla Thank you, Rissa. Yeah, the show was called Ghostbusters. Ah, I see. Based on an older show called Ghostbusters, always preceded the Herald. Thank you, thank you. I was like, wait, yeah, yeah. Uh, Funimation, yeah, yep. The gorilla, you're not thinking of Trading Places, are you? Actually, I think I might be thinking of Miguel the Gorilla. Yep, it was Filmation. Mm. Well, I did not know about the Ghostbusters drama. Oh. Oh. Uh, do you remember? Do you remember? This is the day of September. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Uh, I suppose we should talk to Lily Vargas, eh? I mean, I suppose we should do that. Oh, we should also break into your computer, actually. Let's see. Hello, Sublight Underground Agent. This is a reminder to please limit any and all racketeering to the employee-only areas of the warehouse. Thank you. Lockdown alert. To all Sublight Underground agents, until further notice, the Eridanos Atmospheric Complex is under lockdown. No person is permitted to arrive or depart from the complex without explicit permission from Mr. Kincannon. Let's look at those logs. Okay, we have some logs. Filmation snuck the animated show out before someone could make a cartoon based on the Remy's film, which is why the cartoon was called The Real Ghostbusters. Oh, interesting. That was the first place my brain went when you said, do you remember too? Yeah. Same. Let's see these work logs, shall we? Do you remember the Sid and Marty Krofft Super Show? And it had Electro Woman and Dinah Girl and Wonderbug? No, what's the car? Buggy. Speed Buggy. Do you remember? Speed Buggy, and those were all live action, and it had like Kiss as the hosts, and do you remember? Dynamut, right? Yeah. Sigmund and the Sea Monsters, Dynamut. Yep. Crew quarters terminal. Just got notified that all of Eridanos is locking down. Something bad must have transpired in the hotel. My scars are aching, which can only mean one thing. There are about to be security issues enough to be a massive void dam pain in my posterior. From what I've seen, every bridge is locking down without my help. Talk about a surprise. Except for the one leading to the Purpleberry Orchards. I'm headed out there to make sure it's done right, and to crack some skulls if needed. If you're a slug agent and you're reading this, get your ass to the landing pad. Some uppity Byzantine gets out here on a ship, it's gonna be all our hide. Oh, this is interesting. So they said the lockdown is because of the murder, but what if the lockdown is because of the parasite infestation? I have some questions. Land of the Lost, yep. Crown says, I only remember because you constantly talk about it and make us watch episodes of it. Maybe. Stillwell. Crew quarters terminal. This is Stillwell here, giving her report. Here it goes. Here's the report. Hey, boss, eat it! Ha! If you see a bottle of Spectrum Indigo, don't touch it. It's mine. Somebody's drunk. O'Connell. Evan O'Connell report. Patrolled bridge leading to Wilderness Exploitation Reserve for 8 hours, 14 and a quarter minutes. Exchange shift with operator Stillwell for 14 and a quarter minutes late. Patrolled landing pad for 8 hours. Slept for 4 hours. Slated to return to Wilderness Exploitation Reserve bridge for today's shift. Let's talk to Lily Vargas, why don't we? Hello, Lily Vargas. I wanted to chat with you.
Inspector, you find my missing man?
I'll get out of your hair. It feels like I have spoken to you, but maybe just not in this room. So... yeah. I think we're going this way. I guess. Because I need to get over to that other place. You know what? If we have been to this building before, which I can't imagine we have because of the lack of looting, it must have been like years ago. Because, as Krellin pointed out, we started this game in 2019, which I find is just so hard to believe. I mean, I believe it because Krellin said it, and Krellin doesn't lie to me. But, you know.
Nice.
Thanks. Okay. So, I have another one. Since we've already talked about Electro Woman and Dyna Girl, and apparently I've brought it up before, I have other ones. Oh, hey. Let's repair all of our stuff, huh? All of our stuff is now repaired officially. And we're going to eat some food so that we have eaten food. And we're going to save. So we're going to do that. And then I'm going to catch up on chat because I feel like it's been far too long since I've chatted with you all. Oh. Actually, not so much. Okay. I'm going to bring up other shows then. I was thinking about the sci-fi shows that I watched as a really young kid. Like sci-fi from the 70s is what I'm talking about. On second thought, let us not read chat. 'Tis a safe
Name
place.
game.
Hey, Lone Coup, how are you? The name game. Come on, everybody. I said, now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a... Wait. Das Spiel? Der Spiel. Das Spiel. Wait. Give me a second. Dum, bum, bum, ba, bum, bum, ba, bum, bum. I was right. It's Das Spiel. Das Namensspiel. Hallo jeder Menschen. Oder hallo jeder. Spiel mal ein Spiel. Wette ich eine Reim machen kann von jeder Menschens Name. Der erste Buchstabe der Name. Ich lasse es weg. Und dann ein B oder ein F oder ein M wird da sein. Und dann sage ich B und ein Bo. Und dann sage ich des Namens und dann Banana, Ferner und Fo. Dann sage ich den Namen mit einem F. Ganz einfach. Und dann ein Vieh, Fa und ein Mo. Dann ich sage das nochmal mit einem M dieses Mal. Und es gibt keines Name. Und es gibt keine Name, die ich nicht, die ich nicht reimen kann. Lone Coup, Bobon Coup, Banana, Fana, Fofon Coup, Fifa, Momon Coup. Lone Coup, das Namensspiel. Thank you for the resub, Lone Coup. How are you? Yeah, it's hard. I'm getting there. I have to actually really think about it. Ixnay on the Izzo Ray. Was Zardoz top of the list of 70 sci-fi movies for you? Oh, Zardoz. Look, it was just off the top of my head. I was like, wait, I've got to try to put this together. I'm sure. I see Rizzo's. I'm sure the grammar was terrible. But look, here's the thing. I learned my German in Bavaria, where people really did not use articles very often. And when I say that, I really mean it. I mean, also, where am I? I'm somewhere in here. Well, we're going to find out. And by that, I really do mean it was just like, They didn't. So I'm just trying to tell you that they didn't do it. Hello. Okay, so this is the hotel where we came in. This is one of the floating islands, but it's not the one that I think we need. I think we need... I suspect there must be a floating island over there. Speaking of islands, do I want to go down there? What if there are cool things down there that I need to loot? No, I must have been there already, so we're going to go up here. And up here, there are things we haven't looted, so I suspect that we're on the right path. We're on the path to glory. We're also a tad over encumbered, but we can take care of that. Also, we cannot walk this way. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. We're gonna. Look. I know we've been in this area because this is the place we came in when we flew in, but I know there's got to be a way to get where we need to be, and golly gee willikers, we'll find it. Maybe this way. Okay, have a good time, Rissa. Oh, Rissa told me something about her game. Hold on, I remember it. Hold on. So, the PCs are all members of a family based in the Mars City with one end of the space elevator. Family business is hospitality, a la Vegas, hotels, restaurants, etc. Supposedly a telenovela-ish atmosphere, but I'm not sure Bill really knows what that means. Still waiting for the plot to kick in, to be honest. I see you, Rissa. I've got to go and, yes. You know, I have thoughts about that. I do. I have thoughts about that. I think that, doing a soap opera well is more work than I think a lot of people know. I think that people I actually got some books on writing soap operas, which I have not been able to go and give my full attention yet because time, right? But I went and I got those writing books. I was thinking about them in the context of RPGs. And soap operas have very different ways of writing plots, writing things than traditional narratives. And so I was wanting to read up on that because they are quite different. And I was thinking about this in terms of RPG theory. So I have not had the time to read all of them, although I was doing some just general sort of skimming. So, it's interesting. Enemy mine. Oh, Volus, Zardos. I just thought about that. I would say there's a difference between telenovelas, and the main difference being that telenovelas aren't ashamed of melodrama. Telenovelas always have an evil twin. So do soap operas. I would say that I think it depends on the era, because American daytime soaps were also pretty melodramatic. I mean, especially earlier, right? These are the days of our lives, right? Of course, because the paths of glory lead but to... Yeah, evil twin is an incredibly common trope in American soaps. Casting. Sullivan, we've got a new mark today for the belt from the bellhops. Green ship, critters on the back wall. Julie box should be there. Just take the whole thing. These folks are so rich, they probably wouldn't even notice it went missing. The fence in the warehouse should be buying. Make sure to keep the bellhops cut before you go spending. Interesting. Now, there are differences between telenovelas and soap operas, like American soap operas, but there are also differences between American and British soap operas that are all, it's interesting to me, how these differences play out and what that looks like. So we want to go over there. Okay, how do we get over there, I think is the more relevant question. We're going to see what we can do. Yeah. So I was thinking about 70s sci-fi TV shows and maybe early 80s, but I was thinking 70s. I was thinking, especially the ones aimed at kids. I was thinking the main difference is that in British soap operas, they drink tea instead of coffee. and a lot of beer. There's a lot of alcohol, a lot, just for no reason. But the pacing is quite different, actually. Well, because I was watching EastEnders, right? That was my soap, and EastEnders showed me. So I first started watching EastEnders when it hit American PBS, at least our PBS, and I was immediately struck by some of the differences between the two medium in ways that really blew me away, were so fascinating. So one of the things which I think is very interesting. By the way, all right, no, we're fine. We're fine, right? We're fine. We're trying to find. We have to go to the Phaeton Pilot House, and look, we're almost done with this. I just want you to know it. I hope we don't get crushed by an elevator. That would be awful. Nope. Okay. So first thing that really stood out to me, like right off the grand colon, right off the bat, is that there are a lot of working class. By the way, this is our ship. How lovely. There are a lot of working class. So I was watching EastEnders, right? Which is about the working class, right? Like there's just all of these poor people in EastEnders. And American soaps, this was the 80s, right? Not interested in poor people so much. At least not poor people who function as poor people. You might get like a symbolic poor person usually, but often not, right? So like you just, okay, so let's see, this is where we want to go. And to get there, we need to go, oh, pardon me, there. So that right there is where we need to go. Is that the Wilderness Reserve? What is all of this? I love the level design. This, to me, looks like it has to be. Well, let me look at the map. The map will just tell me. We'll just find out where we are. So this is. That is indeed the Wilderness Reserve. Okay, well, we're going back. We're going back over there because we can see. We need to go there. We haven't even been to these places. It's so spectacular. This game is so pretty looking. Okay, that's all. Right, so like they had like actual full-on working class people, whereas so much of our soap opera is either rich people, a lot of rich people, or people who are middle class but also really still rich people, if you know what I mean. So they had poor people, but also the actors looked like, they did not look like Hollywood celebrities. Like they looked tired. They looked tired. That's the best. I would love to just jump off this elevator, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to do it, but I'm tempted. Yeah, so they have like people who look tired and who looked like regular everyday people on the streets. They also would wear the same clothing all the time, like the same jacket. Like you're like, oh yeah, that one character has this like puffy silver jacket that she wears all the time, and you would see her in it because they were like regular people who had the same clothing. You just see what I'm saying to you? So that was really interesting. It's like I look as
timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Oh, really? Oh, what do we have here? Interesting, because I haven't been here before. So we're getting, well, I have been here before, but not when I had this discrepancy thing. So we are getting some new stuff, which by going over old
Physical
places.
analysis reveals this to be a crate of Rizzo's Spectrum vodka, based on bottle shapes and label types. Chemical analysis reveals that this is not a crate of Rizzo's Spectrum vodka, based on flavor notes and presence of excess ethanol.
Oh. Examine the crate. The crate is packed with Spectrum bottles of all colors. It looks identical to any regular Spectrum shipment. Okay. Oops. Shipping counterfeit goods is definitely something Sublet would do. Perhaps Slug aren't as different from their sister group as they claim. It's just slow in here, by the way. Which I think is weird. Oop, there we go. Going through the effort to encroach upon Rizzo's territory seems particularly targeted. You wonder what Slug's angle is. I'm gonna just sample a bottle. The flavor is semblant of old socks and damp canid. It's more than a little nauseating, definitely not a legitimate Rizzo's product. And Yuka, do you mind tasting one of these? She might like it.
I don't even need to, Cap. I can smell it already. That ain't Rizzo's. Rizzo's has a sort of sickly sweetness to it. A bottle of liquid lollipops.
Oh.
This just smells like piss. I'm actually surprised you can't tell.
No, I could tell. I knew it. So we want to go over there. There are some people freaking out. It's not good. Poor people, right? Yes. So poor people. Regular like reusing of clothing like regular people do. What else? Sort of cropped up quite a lot. But what if it's not Rizzo's? What if it's like giving the weird... What if this is all about sending the parasite to the rest of the universe? Sorry, just worrisome. The other thing that was... there are a couple of like really... Well, there were a couple of things that were like differences that became obvious in retrospect, but I did not... Well, not in retrospect. Once you got more time with the shows. What if it's competitor? Let's see, what is this? Natural health regeneration. So I want to get the one that gives me not health regeneration, but remember, if I level up, I want to level up medical. Because I want to try to unlock that last consumable slot. Just don't let me forget. Okay, so the pacing was really interesting. So if you I don't know how many of you have all watched daytime soaps, but if you've ever watched daytime soaps, one thing you might recognize is that the American soap operas have daytime soaps have a very, very slow pace, right? That you will often have a scene that lasts for a couple of days, you know, like, oops. Pardon me? So like, you know, excuse me, right here.
With us.
Okay. I think this person's limb is hanging out over there. It is. Yep. What I was saying, or what I was trying to say, is that, so like, you know, like, Jim, I must tell you something. It's about Mother. Really? What is it? Dum 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 dum. Cut to commercial, and like that, some variation of that happens for like 2 days before you finally find out that Mother's missing, right? Like U.S. daytime soap pacing is very slow, which is fine. But that is not the case with EastEnders. What I found fascinating about EastEnders, by the way, I feel like we have been there, maybe? No. What is this? This is a place we've never been. We'll just have to check it out when we'll just check it out when we get there. So like in EastEnders, so fascinating, right? You would have the episodes going, and then hotel to pilot house. Bridge. Okay. Hi. Oh, do not want to have a gun out. Sorry. I just wanted to chat with you to see how you. Okay, well, you know what? I'm not talking to you. You walked away from me. No, we're not talking to you. So big confrontation happens, right? Episodes going on, big confrontation. You get to that sort of like big cliffhanger moment where the big confrontation happens, and then should I tell you one of my favorite ones? For argument's sake, I'll tell you about one of my favorite ones. So there were at one point in time, you know how soap operas end up cycling through people, through characters, because they have, because if you're on for many decades, you sort of have to. It's just kind of how life is. Anyhow, is there anything I want to sell? I have money. It's a good question. I'm not certain, actually. Hello? Well, you don't have a parasite out of your neck, so I suppose you're fine. I guess. Oh, aren't you the one who likes to drink excessively? Probably. Anyhow, I wanted to get to my point. But in order to express the point, I'm going to take this as an excuse to share one of my favorite plot points in EastEnders. I mean, there are many really good plot points, but one of my favorites. So, original era EastEnders, had a bunch of people, fine. Then they had a new generation of folks coming, like new families came in, and one of the families were the Slaters. And the Slaters had 4 daughters, I think. The oldest daughter, who was, 4 daughters. Oldest, who grounded, right? Sort of responsible. I mean, as much as you can be. Then there's like the next oldest daughter who, a bit of a pushover. And then you had Kat, who was the next oldest daughter, who's probably, she seemed like she was like early 30s probably, was like the vibe you got, but she wore lots of makeup and fake tan and liked to party. People didn't always say the nicest things about her. And then there was the youngest daughter,
Non-flood personnel aren't
who was like
permitted on the
16.
pilot house. Can I help you with something?
What was her name? I can't remember her name. This is very sad. I need to ask you some questions regarding your coworker, Evan O'Connell.
Sure. He in trouble or something?
Investigation is still pending.
Well, shit. What happened? Is he all right?
He didn't show up for work today. When did you see him last?
I just had a shift with Evan at the Purpleberry Orchards, kind of. We were supposed to haul some crates, but he was drunk when I got there. I took him to room 82 under the hotel so he could sleep it off. Guess he was drunker than I thought if he didn't show for work.
I'd better go check.
I'd appreciate it if you did. I'd like to know he's okay.
So, look. The youngest daughter, I can't remember her name. I feel so bad that I can't remember her name because it's so epic. I had a thing to do that I was going to do a thing while I was chatting with you, which involved there being a vending machine here. So, the Cat, right? She was always very protective of, what is her name? Youngest daughter. Oh gosh, I feel really bad that I can't remember her name right now. Always very protective of her, right? And at one point in time, and they always argued. It was just like arguing around between those folk. And at one point in time, the youngest daughter, Zoe, thank you, Volus. Zoe, thank you. So at one point in time, Zoe decided that she was going to go off to Spain to go and live with her uncle for like the summer or whatever. And she told everybody like, yeah, I'm going to go do this thing. It's so cool. And Kat freaked out and she was like, absolutely not. You are not going to Spain. And so he's like, you can't tell me what to do. And she's like, I am telling you what to do. And I'm like, well, I'm going to ask Dad. And if Dad says I can go, then I'm going to go. Like, that's right. And big argument. They get into it, and Zoe leaves the pub, right? Super angry, middle of the night. She's stalking out. Kat stalks after her. She comes after her. They're going back, and she's like, "Why do you always pick me?" Da, 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 right? And then, of course, Zoe turns around. She's like, "You're not my mom." And then Kat goes, "Yes, I am." And we're like, "What?" And then the drums, boom, 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 cliffhanger into the episode, right? We find out that it turns like, what? What does that mean? So here's the thing about EastEnders, which is so different from American soap opera pacing. That was, by the way, iconic. And what it was is that when we pick up, you'd have these big, huge cliffhangers, right? When you pick up the next day, when you pick up the next episode, unlike the American soaps, the American soap would pick back up right at that moment, right? Exactly where that episode left off, you'd go right back to that conversation, you'd probably rehash some of the stuff that happened. But in EastEnders, very often you look at these big cliffhangers like this, and when you come back to the next episode, it's the next day, or it's hours later, and you don't necessarily know what happened in between. And not knowing what happened in between, you usually find out through gossip, right? Like, it's usually something like, maybe you come back and it's the next day in the pub and people are talking about what happened last night, or you just sort of get, I think that one probably picked up like an hour or two later maybe, so we didn't get the very next day, but we got, you know, a bit later in the timeline, as it were. But yeah, the British soaps would, like, EastEnders would do this all the time, where you would just pick up later, and that was something that we just never did. Like, I never saw that happening in American daytime soaps, where the pacing is so slow. And in EastEnders, like, you'd go, and then, like, you would just skip time, and you'd have to find out in the pub, which was very cool, I have to say. It was, like, really, really neat to see such a different approach to pacing. I was very impressed by it. I thought it was very, very cool. This looks like something that can be sold. Hey, Schmelzer. There's also a thing that they would do that we didn't tend to do. And part of this, I think, is because it's set around a pub, but I don't know. That they would, like, the direction was very, very interesting in terms of, actually, no, this is actually really quite important. This is a big difference between US soaps, at least for most of US daytime soaps, where we've been canceling most of them, sadly. And something like EastEnders, I'd have to, I only watched a little bit of Brookside, so I can't say about that one too much. But the US soaps, for most daytime soaps, for most of their lives, had a very particular look. Like, they looked a very particular sort of way. And that's because they were filmed on a proscenium stage. Like, they were filmed on a sound stage with 3 cameras. So most, for like Emmys and whatnot, they will make a distinction between single camera shows and multi-camera shows. And most of our big prestige shows are what we would call single camera shows. Well, this doesn't look good. Doesn't look good, everybody. Also, I wonder if okay, well, this doesn't, I don't feel good about this. USTV had better effort for LGBT community. UK had fluff all. Oh, yeah. Well, yes. Okay. I mean, like, again, I'm not going to say that the British version is always better, just differences that I noticed, right? So in the US daytime soaps were set on a soundstage with 3 cameras, one up front, one to the right, and one to the left, right? So it's set up sort of stationary cameras, set up in that way. And because of that, that's why you get US soap operas doing that thing where, like, you've got 2 people talking to each other, and they're like, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, and then the one person will, like, turn their back on the other one, so you get that shot of 2 people, like, one person standing here in the front, one person behind them, and the person is, like, looking at the other person's back saying something because they're looking to that side camera. And this is like a holdover, because most of these soap operas, a lot of these soap operas started, well, some of them started way earlier, but like in the 50s, where that was like, this is basically they're reproducing theater, right, rather than TV. And U.S. daytime soap operas would film an episode a day, which means that you've got to film an entire hour episode, and you have one day to do it. You get all of your lines the night before. You memorize all of your lines the night before. If you're a main character, you've got a lot of lines. You come in. They usually only have time to do one rehearsal, and then they've got to film. And they usually do not have time to cut. Like, they usually don't cut, like, if there's a mistake or anything like that. If it's really bad, they will, but they usually try not to. And they usually, especially back in the old days, they would not spend a lot of time in editing either. So they would usually edit on the fly. So you'd have, one of the things the director would do was to have the monitor of all three of the cameras. This is like sort of older version. Now we've got sort of modern technology, which probably changed it. So they'd have the three monitors for the three cameras. And the director, one of the things the director would do was choose which camera to go to. Okay, center camera, okay, left camera, right camera. So like, it's basically done. So, and it also explains some of the acting styles of American soap operas, is that it's basically theater, like the kind of bigness, the kind of the what you would call overacting, is just basically a theater style, right? Because it's basically theater what we're doing. And they just have done that for a really long time. Yeah, all live action blocking. Yes, Volpez, absolutely, right? Live action blocking, it's all this stuff is happening in this way. Usually the lighting is weird because they did not have a lot of money. So slightly dimmer lighting makes you not realize the quality of the sets. Also because it's on a set. But EastEnders, and I cannot say, well, you know, I think it was the same for Brookside a little bit, but EastEnders had an outdoor set. One of the things you almost never saw in U.S. daytime soaps were outdoors. Everything was on this sort of soundstage. But EastEnders had like a fake square, like sort of more three-dimensional sets, like four-wall sets. Like the pub is like a full pub with four walls, and they have this outdoor area. So there's all these outdoor scenes. There's scenes with rooms that have like four walls, so you can sort of change things around. From the way that they're directing it, I would actually say this is probably a single camera show, EastEnders. Nostalgia was so much better back in my day. Yeah, whereas American soaps are three camera shows with stationary cameras. So that's a big difference, right? Inside, outside. But because EastEnders is, I'm pretty sure, a single camera show, i.e. one camera that can move. They might have more than one camera, but you know what I mean? That's how they define it. You would get these things you would just never get in American daytime soaps. I remember this one scene. It was, I mean, for me, I was like, this is brilliant. And I was a kid, right? But I saw the camera works was so different. Like, you've got a couple, two people walking and talking, and the camera's following them through the square. And then they go into the pub, the Queen Victoria. The camera follows them into the pub. And as the camera's following them, as they're walking, they will pass by some other people talking. And then the camera will stop moving and stay on that group of people talking at the table, while the other group of people continue to walk on off camera. And so then we focus in on this conversation. And that means the conversation that the first people have, we sort of lose the rest of that conversation. We don't know what happens. We'll find out later, you know, hours later when people talk about it. But there's this really interesting way in which EastEnders, and I have not watched, I watched a couple episodes of Brookside, but I haven't watched the other main ones. Coronation Street, I haven't watched that one. I think I watched a couple of recaps. And I don't think Brookside exists anymore. Anyway, point being is that there was this really interesting fluidity to their camera work because they were using a mobile camera. And there was this really interesting way, and this is actually, I have to tell you something about it, about this thing that has always impressed me about British TV, that they're willing to let conversations just not be finished on camera. But you know, as an audience member, that those conversations do get finished. It's just that we don't get to see them, right? There's something really interesting about knowing that things are happening, but we don't get to know what happens because that's just not what happens, right? We know that they had a conversation and then they walked off camera, and then we don't know how that conversation, we don't know what was said then, but we'll find out about it, right? And there's some really interesting stuff that happened with that I thought was very cool. And then the big thing, and I think EastEnders is the one that innovated this. EastEnders, I believe, is a newer soap. It started in the 80s, and there were like much older soaps, of course, right? So I think EastEnders was like the big upstart. Short thing, way more people of color in EastEnders. Like, EastEnders had like a Pakistani family. They had way more people of color than our U.S. soaps at the time had. U.S. soaps in the 80s like had no people of color. Or if they had one black person, like there was usually like be one black person, and that person could not date because there were no other black people. And that they brought in another black person, then you know they would date each other. But like EastEnders had a lot more racial diversity, which was pretty cool. But this thing that they I'm pretty sure they innovated it, and then they've continued to do it. It's called their two-handers, which is where the entire episode was just two people talking. The very first one I saw was way back in the 80s, and it was not really a two-hander. I mean, it was, but it wasn't like the way they would later become. So there were these two young people, two young women, Michelle and Sharon, who were like in their 20s, and they were best friends. And there were these two older women, Dot and Ethel, who were like not in their 20s. They were probably, let's see, this is the 80s, so they're probably in their, oh gosh, that's weird. That's pretty weird, everybody. Sorry, I just realized that. I was like, well, it was the 80s, and they were talking about World War II, and so that means the 80s was 40 years after the end of the war, which means they would have been in their 60s and 70s. So like, wait a minute. When I was growing up, World War II was 40 years earlier. It is now almost 100 years earlier. That's weird. Anyhow, so they have these two older women, Dot and Ethel, who... and what happened is that sort of like Michelle, and the episode starts with Michelle and Sharon chatting and talking to each other about their friendship, right? But almost the entire episode is actually just Dot and Ethel in one of their apartments talking about living through World War II. Ethel was older. She was like 20, 17, 18, 19, 20, and she was in London in the Blitz, and she didn't leave, and she was talking about like trying to date and what her life was like, and I think she might have gotten pregnant. Anyhow, and then Dot was one of the kids that was sent off to the countryside to sort of avoid the bombing. But of course, those kids, their parents didn't come with them. And so she talked about what it felt like to be sent away by her parents and not know what was going on. And the entire episode was just them talking. And they called them two-handers. And EastEnders would do, and that was so well received that EastEnders did more of them. And here's the thing, like these are like amazing theater actors, right? And you got to see these episodes of just like just two people talking. That's it. Very, very, very stage, very theater. And the acting was brilliant, and it was so interesting, and I never got to see it because I was not in the space where I could get access to it. But there was one time, and it was Dot, the woman who played Dot. She did a one-hander. The entire episode was just her. It was just a one-woman monologue where I think her husband had died, and oh, poor Dot. She had such a hard life. Her husband died. It was not her original husband. I think it was like her newer husband, maybe. It might have been her old husband. He was terrible. Anyway, I don't know because I haven't seen the episode, but the entire episode was her talking, doing a monologue. And I was like, oh, I wish I could have seen that. And that is just something I've never seen done on a US soap. But brilliant. You know, just brilliant, brilliant stuff. I was so impressed by that. That said, it's true, Volus is correct. Not so great with the LGBT stuff for a long time. I mean, okay, we're here. All right. Everything seems fine. Seems like we don't have any problems. Rizzo is susso. Mm-hmm. Well, let's check it out, shall we? Check it out. This is not where we're going, but we are going to go there, but not right now. But we're going to check it out. I don't know why I do that. It doesn't work. It's fine.
I say, this pocket watch has someone's initials inscribed on it.
So, hello. Anything? Oh, there's a parasite. That's cool. I'm gonna, worm-like creature spits a sticky acid that causes damage. Runt of the litter. Let's just kill you. Why is there a parasite spawning in here, everybody?
Like true professionals.
Thank the
Yeah,
Lord.
why is that happening, everyone?
Belong in Byzantium.
Do you want to talk about how there are just giant slugs in this? Do you want to talk about this?
Good to know we can purchase a replacement here.
Okay, well, I mean, it's interesting that we're not gonna have this conversation at all. I mean, I really feel like we should talk about the fact that there are parasites everywhere. Anyone? No one? How come nobody in this place is worried about these giant parasites but me? I'm just very concerned about that. Because it wasn't even like, look, it's a just big old giant parasite being all up in our business, being like a parasite. Ugh. Because they all have tiny parasites? You know, that's probably true. It's probably what it is, and I'm concerned about it. Speaking of which, I wanted to break down some of my weapons because I don't have enough. I only have 12 weapon parts. My life is very sad that way. Let me just go eat some food. And, you know, we because apparently I'm addicted to food and have to eat it all the time, which, you know, like, whatever that is. Great. Rizzo's doesn't pay enough for workers to care. This is true. All right, let me use this workbench and figure out what we can do. You know, what we can ditch. Here we go. You get paid in Purpleberry. So let's see, this is a 39, which means we shouldn't get rid of it. It's a 35, we shouldn't get rid of that. That's a 38, we shouldn't get rid of that. 31, we should definitely get rid of. We're gonna break it down. Oh, to resort. I didn't watch the big German soap was Lindenstrasse, and I didn't watch enough Lindenstrasse to be able to really tell what the aesthetic was for it, which I feel sort of bad about because I feel like it's always like I find that's a 36, that's a 34. We'll get rid of that because I find that's a 25. We will definitely get rid of that. Because I find that soap operas are usually soap operas and crime shows I find are really interesting ways to enter into a culture. I feel like they tell you a lot about, we don't need both of those, about any given place. And you know, I mean, again, what they tell you, we've got anything 34 and below, I've decided I'm going to get rid of. So that's our current deal. That's our level 34 and below we are ditching. If it's unless it's like some kind of special weapon. So there. See, you should all be very proud of me for that. Let me repair all of our equipped stuff. Except. And I think tinkering is going to up their damage and whatnot. Most of this stuff is going to be really expensive to improve, so we probably shouldn't. And I don't think I have anything I really want to modify at the moment. Do I not have... I think I might have... Oh, I hope that's not true. Hey, everybody, did I, get rid of all of my weapons, including weapons that I need for later? No, I did not. Okay, good. But, okay, I think I'm good. Yes, I think I did all the things. Let me save it. Okay. A culture. Troopers' powers over 9.99. Germany had a lot of cop shows. Der Arte, The Old Fox, Derek, Einfall für zwei und die Kommissarin. I watched Tatort. So when I was trying to learn German, I didn't watch Lindenstrasse, but I watched Tatort. And look, cop shows and soap operas I find to be really good to help learn a language because you can guess the plots. Like, you don't have to... The plots are usually pretty archetypal and obvious, so when you already know the plot, it's easier to start guessing what they're saying and then learning what they're saying. So I always found that the cop shows were quite useful. And I watched Tatort, and Tatort was actually really cool as a concept. So they were like TV movies. I suppose for those of you who are not German or don't know Germany, you do have to know this first. Germany has states, right? And you know how we have PBS? Well, I suppose actually really a better example would be the BBC. So you know how we have like, yeah, we don't really have national national television stations. Government, public. I mean, we have PBS, but interesting. But you know how the BBC is like the run by the British government?
Helen's gone. We're never going to get a sequel to Terror on Monarch.
She was murdered? Maybe don't be sketchy? Anyhow, this is also very sketchy. These seem to be like dead people's clothes, but I'm not going to linger on it. Anyhow, what I wanted to say was in Germany, they have the Bundesländer, the states, like what we would call a state. PBS, like NPR, is barely government funded. Like, it's not really government funded.
Come take a look.
Sure, I will do. This looks like it's stuff that belongs to a bunch of people. By the way, where did you get this stuff? Are these dead people? What's the word, my friend? What's the word?
Hey, you look like you need some stuff. Fancy watch? Spare cufflink? Single earring? You want it, I've got it.
Some places at AFN, the Armed Forces Network. So in Germany, each of the states has their own version of the BBC, right? So there's like the ZDF. No. ARD. Yeah, I'm right. Each one, basically there's a version of like the BBC per state in Germany. So Bavaria has one, and each one has one. So anyway, here's my point. My point is there's this TV show called Tatort, which is like, how would you translate that? Would you just translate that as crime? Scene of the crime? Scene of the crime. Right? I think that's how you would translate that. Tatort. Crime scene. So, Tatort, Scene of the Crime, is this long-running crime show, and each episode's kind of long. I feel like it's either a full hour, maybe longer than an hour, perhaps. Maybe. But what's interesting is that every week there's an episode, but each episode is produced by one of these state channels. And the Bavarian one, the one that's produced by the Bavarian channel, has a Bavarian investigator and is set, I think it's Szymanski in Munich, I think. And then like there's a one in Berlin, and then there's one in each of the Bundesländer. And so they each produce one of these pretty high quality stuff, and then they rotate through. So every week you'll get like one of the different investigators, but like Szymanski, I'm pretty sure it's Szymanski. And when I was watching in the 90s, the investigator in Berlin was Lena Odenthal, played by Ulrike Volkerts. Borowskin Tango episode of Tatort was filmed at Ilomantsi, less than 100 kilometers away from your home. Oh, wow. Oh, that's cool. Let me see. I just, maybe if I go to Wikipedia, I'm just concerned that Wikipedia will not have. Oh, and it turns out that that Tatort is also Austrian and Swiss. So it started in 1970. So it's been going on since 1970. There have been 50 seasons. As of August 2021, there have been 1,172 episodes. Each episode is 90 minutes, so it's basically like a little TV movie. And yes, so let me see. German TV drama. It's been running forever. There's also an Austrian version that I think comes into the rotation. There was an East German counterpart, Polizeiruf 110, that also had a similar. So this is like a regional production approach. So yeah, Bayerischer Rundfunk was the one that we would get. So basically, each region will produce their own episodes, and then they'll all come together as a big group, which I thought was actually really cool. And what was neat about it was that you can then see, like, just, you know, because I hadn't been to all the different parts of Germany and all of that, so I got to see different fake parts of Germany. I thought it was really interesting. Anyway, Book Rizzo. What is all this junk?
Junk? My friend, this is not junk.
Mm-hmm.
These are people's prized possessions. Priceless personal effects. Beloved souvenirs and knickknacks.
Volpe says, can I suggest if you want to watch stuff like this now, check out the PBS Masterpiece channel on Amazon Prime Video. Oh, really? Full of great crime shows from around most of Europe. Subbed. Oh, that's good. I prefer them subbed rather than dubbed. And if I can watch them, it's the PBS Masterpiece channel on Amazon Prime Video. I'm going to pull up a tab because I don't want to forget this. Amazon Prime Video. I want this, and you said the PBS Masterpiece. Oop. PBS Masterpiece. Well, I suppose I could just do a search for PBS Masterpiece. PBS Masterpiece. PBS Masterpiece? Huh. Oh, cool. Oh, they've got Broadchurch. Okay. The Paris Murders. Oh. Oh, well, this is fun. Murder in Sweden. Oh. Fandafalk. Oh. Annika. Oh. Well, Vienna Blood. Speaking of which, not Vienna Blood, but speaking of which, I really wanted to watch, there's a Berlin Babylon. I haven't watched it yet, but I really want to. It's a German police procedural set in Weimar Republic, and...
Huh? Oh, well, some of the guests left this stuff behind.
Volpe says it's about $4.99 a month extra, but it's worth it. Oh. Okay. Okay. Professor T. Look, this is very cool. This is very cool. La otra mirada. Oh, okay. This is very exciting to me. Okay. This is very cool. I just finished this, Artie, watching the musical episode of Strange New Worlds, and I loved it. I think it's my new favorite episode. Oh,
I would certainly not admit to that, even if it were true.
I
Look for yourself.
need to watch that show. I do not have Paramount Plus, but I think the first season of Strange New Worlds is on Amazon. Are you doing okay?
Me? Oh, sure. Terrific. Never better. And as soon as I pay off my docking fines, I'll be back on my feet and in my ship.
Docking fines?
So it turns out Slug has some pretty strict rules on vehicle docking, and I may have broken a few of them.
Oh, I see.
Who'd think Slug would be so strict?
docking rules?
Let's see. There's docking without prior authorization, double docking, docking into adjacent vessels, docking while under the influence of alcohol, docking while under the influence of caffeinoids, and loitering.
Wow. Wow.
And that reminds me that I've got delinquency fees accruing on top of the original docking fines. Which is why I'm hoping you'll purchase my fine wares.
Well, show me what you have for sale. Maybe you have something good. Who's got a pair of pipes? Everyone in that show can sing and really well. So, here's the thing, right? I don't think any of this stuff is going to be stuff that I need, right? Got ammo. Random clothing. Medical stuff. Mods. Expensive mods, by the way. Like, really expensive mods. And then random stuff. I don't think I need any of this.
I knew.
Sorry, I just,
Me?
realized
Oh,
that I
sure.
had my
Terrific.
gun out.
Never better. And as soon as I pay off my docking fines, I'll be back on my feet. So it turns out Slug has some pretty strict rules on vehicle docking.
I know,
And
I know.
I may have broken a few of them. Who'd think Slug would be so strict?
Can I help?
You sure can. Buy some of my goods, and it'll count towards paying off my docking fines.
I think I should buy
And
something.
delinquency fees that are accruing on top of them.
Okay, I'm gonna buy something. I don't know what I'm gonna buy, but I will buy something so that, you know, it's not like I have huge amounts of money, but I feel bad for the situation that she is in. This would be really interesting, the concierge outfit, but I cannot afford that, so I won't. But maybe I can buy like a, I don't think, maybe there's like an interesting mod that could be good. Like, I have, what is this? Augmented grounding armor mod, upgrades body armor and helmet armor, ratings against shock damage. Okay. Augmented padding against cold damage. Increases the distance when you're dodging. I don't care about that. Oh, this augmented reinforcement upgrades body armor and helmet armor ratings against all damage types. That seems pretty cool. Coat of Arms reduces a companion ability cooldowns. That also seems pretty cool. What is this? This is a armor mod. And then this upgrades stealth skills. Let's just pick up the Coat of Arms. Let's just buy that. Because, you know, I've got a lot of mods, some of which I could... I don't think I'll get a lot of money for any of them, but I could probably sell... give myself a limit of 10. You know, I feel like I probably don't need more than 10 than any on any given mod, and I'm being responsible because they are not light, you know. Yes. What were we talking about? We were talking about a lot of things, to be honest. Oh, singing. That's what it was. I remember now. Thank you. What I wanted to say was, what I think is really interesting, you know, not you all, not you, because you're not my students, but I've got a number of students who are musical theater kids, and they want to be on Broadway. You know how it is. And I remember when that one movie with Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling, Ryan Gosling, the Hollywood, the jazz one, right? Which has some problems. When that one came out, I remember my students were all up in arms and angry. They were so upset. They were like, La La Land, thank you very much. thank you, was like, this is terrible. We're so upset. I was like, what are you mad about? Are you mad about the questionable choices of making the white dude in the 40s the most authentic jazz person? Is like that what you're upset about? And like the black guy, the sellout somehow, like this some kind of weird revisionism. Are you mad about that? Is that it? And they were like, oh no, we're not mad about that. I was like, okay, what are you mad about? I'm like, we're mad that they didn't cast musical theater people in these roles. They cast Hollywood stars rather than musical theater people. I'm here because I need to eat food. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, we think it's really terrible that they cast, you know, Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling and not obscure musical theater people. And this is okay. And so here, thank you, Krellin, here is my point, right? That Hollywood stars are musical theater people. Maybe not all of them, right? There are certainly some people who are Hollywood stars who are not, but almost all of them have trained in singing as well, right? And like some of them are not good at it, but even people you would not imagine are also usually trained, because it's really hard to make it in Hollywood. And usually when you're up there, you're training, right? And you're gonna be training in singing and dancing as well, movement, all that stuff. And so sure, there are some of them who, there are certainly some Hollywood people who are not good, but generally speaking, a lot of folks in Hollywood have trained in musical theater or at least singing and dancing. And sure, they aren't hanging out. They did not start their career or did not spend their entire, and look, and many of them also did musical theater in high school. Like, I just don't, you know what I mean? Like this idea that like they're musical theater people and then also these Hollywood people is just not really accurate. Like many, yeah, most of them have done this kind of training. Maybe they like, look, I took dance training. Like when I was doing my training, because I certainly was a musical theater person, I took dance. Now, was I very good at dance? No. Could I do some basic stuff? That's also because I didn't do lots and lots of training on it, and dance is actually very, very hard. But I could do basic dance. Like I could do basic theatrical dance. If I'd done more classes in dance, I would have gotten better at it. I mean, I can do social, I can dance. I can do social dance and things like that. But like, let me put it this way. When I auditioned for the chorus line in high school, I was aiming to get the Puerto Rican character who did not do a huge amount of dancing, because that is a super dance-heavy show where you have to be an actual full-on dancer. But even if you were not one of the dancing parts, you still had to do some dancing, and I could do that. Yeah, so it was just, for me, I was just like, come on, these people are not untrained in this, you know? You mean cast movie people in a movie? Yes, Vulpes, that's what I mean. What you mean some of them may have done, dare I say it, dinner theater to make ends meet? Oh, the horror. Yeah, absolutely, right? Of course they, like, is anybody here really surprised that the voice actors on Critical Role can also sing? I'm not. Do you know what I mean? And so I was just like, come on. Also, to go back to what Vulpes says, do you really think for a big Hollywood movie that they want to have box office for, that the producers of the movies want the movie to make money? They often have no idea what's going to do that, because they don't know, because they greenlight some very bad ideas. But one thing they do know is they're like, well, we need names, right? And also, it's not just names. Oh, this is so fascinating. Let me read this. This notice informs you that your ship and its cargo have been impounded by Slug. It will be released to you when you have paid your outstanding fines for docking without authorization, docking with forged authorization, docking into adjacent vessel, drunk and disorderly conduct, loitering. Please see Slug Docking Agent for full list. Please note that you'll be charged a delinquency fee for each day these fines go unpaid. Well, sounds like she had some stuff going on that probably involved drunk and disorderly conduct. But the thing is that producers will not secure funding for your movie unless they think that movie's going to make money. And these are funding people. And funding people have very narrow ideas of what's going to make money, right? They're like, well, and it's usually not how well written the script is. They often don't even read the script. What do they know about it? What they know is like, well, okay, well, who have you cast, and what's the general plot, right? That tends to be what they are thinking about. By the way, we have crossed a bridge, but there's a way down, so I think we should probably do a 360 of this area because maybe there's something interesting here while we are at it, because, you know, clues. I imagine people don't feel the same way about casting someone actually in a wheelchair for a character that is in a wheelchair, or casting someone that is transiply transferred. Yeah, I think that's also probably true. They probably don't actually think much about that at all. And let's be really upfront about what's really happening here, which I will tell you what's really happening here, but I will also tell you that they are probably not aware consciously that this is what's happening here. They're mad that they didn't get cast in that role, right? Because they're identifying as a musical theater person, and they think it's unfair that they were not cast in La La Land. They're also sophomores in college, so they would not be cast in La La Land. Also, if they're just some kind of random musical theater person who's only been doing musical theater, they're not going to get cast on that. I mean, it's very unlikely that they're going to get cast in that movie, which is not because they're not talented. Although I will say that movie acting and theater acting are different, which means they may not actually have the skill and training to pull off film acting. Just going to note that one. It's not, there's more skill to it than just that. But producers greenlight movies because there are names attached to it. Having a name attached is one of the few ways that producers can be made to feel comfortable that a film will make money. And that name might be the director, it might be the actor, but it's one of the reasons why... Ooh, hello. I'll just take all of that stuff. I'm glad I hung out here in this dangerous place. Let's go back up to the less dangerous part. Krellin says, speaking of not knowing what will make a good art, I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once for the first time. Oh, I haven't seen it yet, and I really want to. And I cannot imagine anyone in charge of anything thought that that would be the best movie in at least a decade. So, okay, so Krellin, I wanted to see that movie in the theater, and our local theater had it for like a hot second, and then it went out of rotation, which was sad. And then it got the nominations, and so then they brought it back, and I was like, great, a Saturday night, I'm not streaming or gaming on a Saturday night, I can go and watch it. So I went to the theater that Saturday night, and it turns out they didn't have it. They said they played on the Saturday night, and then they didn't. So I did not get to see it in the theater, and I have not seen it yet, but I imagine it must be available on Netflix or something, because I really, really, really want to see it so badly. It is like, there are a lot of films, I'm like, for me, there are a lot of films like, oh, that seems like that could be interesting. And then I'm like, you know, if I see it, I do. If I don't, I don't. But that one I really, really, really want to see. Artie says that he'll think I like it. Volus says, some actors are cursed to be typecast, and Sean Bean is a good example, and he's done many roles as a corpse. Yeah. I got to see it because I have Paramount Plus. Oh. So maybe you need to get that so you can watch it and wait. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm going to ponder this. This might mean that Paramount Plus is now a thing. Phaeton Pilot House. I have a quick side note to tell you all. It's a quick aside. Not very long, but a very quick aside that's about the name Phaeton. I'm going to save the game. You know, I used to draw comic books as a kid. I would draw comic books all the time. I used to draw a lot as a youngin'. And I got a couple of short stories, like short comic book stories published in comic books, anthologies, queer anthologies, back in the 90s. But that was a while ago, and I'm way out of practice. Anyway, when I was a kid and I was drawing comic books, I was working on a pulp noir sort of crime comic book, and the main character was the detective, and the detective was called Phaeton Ryder. So Phaeton Ryder was the name of the detective protagonist in this comic book that I was drawing in high school. In case you wanted to know. So about Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's one of the problems, right? These producers don't think that things with people of color in it will sell, so then they won't fund it. they won't give it much money or any money. They don't think that films aimed at women will sell, so they don't give them much money.
Happy customers are repeat customers.
And then somebody spends money, like, usually these kinds of films get way less funding, so they just can't get the budgets. I think it's something like Dirty Dancing, which was like made on like $4 and then made huge amounts of money. Or if it's female led, absolutely. So if it's, yeah, absolutely. Batgirl, yep, So this is really interesting. I watched this documentary on Dirty Dancing, the movie. And
you don't know how grateful I am to the morale improvement program. Changed my life.
Do you have a parasite? Doesn't look like it. Okay. Before we go any further, what do we have here? Meteorological control station and the pilot house entrance. Enjoy your non-mandatory visit. Okay, well, let me give a quick look at our map so I can get a lay of the land.
How grateful I am to the morale improvement program. Changed my life.
I feel bad about this, right? This is not a thing I feel good about. I feel distinctly not good about this. So we are here. I would love to zoom in, but that's as close as we're gonna get. So let's go anti-clockwise. That'll let us be thorough, I guess. But you know, they had to save the movie with the awful Terrell Milpers in it. Yeah. So this is really interesting. And the documentary itself had a lot of really good information, but was sketchy. If you know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh, there's some attitudes in this documentary that I don't like, that I don't feel comfortable with, that I think is kind of sketch. But there was good information, even if some of it was sketch. So the movie Dirty Dancing comes out. It's basically written by this woman, and then there's this like director who's like really interested. There's this woman director, right, and this woman writer, and they have all these ideas about they want to do it, and they're trying to get this made, and like nobody wants to pick it up. They're like, why would we do a movie about like a Jewish girl's coming of age story? Like, we just nope. Nobody was interested. And so they tried, they just couldn't get made. Stymied every turn. What is this? It's a pinwheel. Okay. Interesting. So they're trying to figure out how to get this movie made because they really believed in it, but like nobody was interested because it just did not look like it was going to be a thing. But there was a cable channel that wanted to go into movies, which in this case, the universe actually provided some immediate justice with that movie being one of the worst flops in ages. Yep. Well, this is fun. Can I look at it? No, you just ruined my life. Fine. I mean, I'd like to. So this cable company wanted to go start producing movies, but they were a cable company, had no cred, had nothing. They were like a bunch of, oh, what was the movie? Hold on. Because I feel like they became kind of famous later. Hold on, let me check. It was by Vestron Pictures was a distributor, right? So Vestron is the company that sort of did the distribution for it. And they were founded in 86, right? Dirty Dancing comes out in 87. And they basically, they do a couple of things like Slaughter High, right? They're not really doing particularly well. And they're struggling. They're not doing much of anything. So Dirty Dancing is pitched to them. Oops, sorry. Dirty Dancing is pitched to them, and they're like, this movie is crap. We don't want to give you any money, but we also need something because we're not actually doing well at becoming a film distributor. So they made a deal with the writer and the director. Vesper was known for B movies into softcore smut. Yep. And so they weren't doing well. And so they made a deal. They said, okay, what we'll do is we'll give you some funding. We'll let this thing go through. But rather than actually paying you, we'll give you like a percentage of the profits rather than paying you. Because they did not think the movie would make any money. They thought that they were basically going to... Basically, they thought they were cheating the writer director, that team, right? They're like, right, if we pay you like piddly and then give you a piece of the profit, then we're going to get a movie that will hopefully change our reputation, and we're not going to really have to pay much for it. So that's what they did. And then the movie, hold on, it was made for $4.5 million was the budget, right? And it made $214 million, which, right? You know what I mean? Like, that was insane, the amount of money. And they gave the director, so the writer, so no, it wasn't the director. The director was Emil Ordolino, who was a gay guy who was really good friends with them, and he ended up dying, I think, of HIV. But it was the producer, Linda Gottlieb, and the writer, Eleanor Bergstein. They got, like, points. They got basically a good number of points on the profits of the production, and they got a lot of control over it. And then the movie made like $214 million. And so they earned huge amounts of money, the writer and the producer. And the documentary was like, we think that's really unfair. Like they interviewed some people who were with Vestron, so by the way, Vestron made a lot of money off of Dirty Dancing, which they then used, right, to be able to do things like The Princess Bride, Steel Dawn, right? They had Hamburger Hill, The Princess Bride, Anna, which was with Sally Kirkland, right? So they had a couple of good films, and then they went back to not doing good films, and then I don't think they exist anymore. So there's that. But I think they went out of business in '92 because, again, they were not a very good business. But they had these interviews with some of the people, and the people were really bitter that these two women were making money off of the film. They're like, really, we should have basically been making all the money. It's really unfair that they were getting points on this and making money off of the profits when we should be making all the money off the profits. And our business failed and went under, and that's basically their fault because they got paid too much. And I was like, you were trying to cheat them. Don't complain now. Come on now. Hamburger Hill is right next to Blueberry Hill, where the hamburger lives. So, also, why aren't the people who work on the thing entitled to money? Support your strikers, by the way. But back to the point. The point here. Here we go.
We're all family here. Rizzo's takes care of its own.
I love your aesthetic. This is super sketch, though.
Administrator Ludovico can't seem intimidating, but he's a decent fellow. I know he cares.
I don't know that at all. Only you can prevent fatal... Oh, sorry, wrong button. Wrong button, everybody. Only you can prevent fatal falls and injuries. It has been 1.75 days since our last known incident. Employees are responsible for all lost property, including themselves. Wrong button, everybody. Sorry. Now I'm hopped up on combat drugs. And food. So anyhow, I have a point, by the way, that has to do with Brad Pitt. I want to get to Brad Pitt. Notice the known word. Yep. So, right, if you don't have what they think of as being bankable, you're just not going to get the funding or the insurance.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
What is this? Remember how somebody's like, oh, we'll meet you later in the place. I can't tell you now. We'll meet in the place. And I'm like, why would you do that? Because you're going to end up dead. Always what ends up happening, everybody. Always. Somebody says, I have important information about the killer. And then I say, well, why don't you tell me right now? And they're like, I can't tell you now. It's not safe. Meet me at midnight in an alley. It'll be fine. I'll be like, oh, and they're always dead. And they're always dead. 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 All proprietary mascots must exhibit signs of physical life. Also, I think I need to change my stream pedal to have the dun 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 right in the middle. That's what I think. And I'm going to make sure I do that because that's really where I want it. Let me just configure that stream deck for a moment. And I'm going to just move my dun dun dun. Copy. Just move it. Perfect. Great. Now I have my dun 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 where I want it. Let's puncture wounds near his collarbone. I'm having trouble finding an exit wound. No, because he... Firearm is not a conventional weapon either. I actually think it might be the parasite bursting out of his neck. Amplifier, before we go, do you think he'd miss his outfit? I'll take his things. It's potential evidence. Yeah. You glance over your shoulder to see if anybody's watching, and then reach down and remove the mascot's gear. All right, let's get out of here. Yeah, I had to steal his stuff. Look, it's for purposes later. Also, I feel like chat's got all the most... What do I do with these vending machine cables? Interesting things. Oh, okay. All right. Well, this is good. But also, wait. But also, chat. Brad Pitts has a point. Yeah, there's a point there. Also, did you mention what you wanted to say about Phaeton? Oh, yeah, I did. That he was the character on the comic book that I was drawing. Dead like your stream. Caesar, I didn't kill the stream. I'm here. He made a comic book. Yeah, sounds like a meeting. Meeting you. Maybe meeting me is the common denominator. We are currently only a reaction stream, which is interesting in its own way. Guess what is happening based on Trooper's expression? No, I'm here. Right. Because I should be there. Huh? I see that. I see it. There was a murder. Sorry. You know, there was a discrepancy. Look, I wanted to tell you. There. We'll get it. So, we talked about the difficulty, right? Oh, let me just pick that up. Oh, I get to disguise myself. As that sketchy mascot. Then we'll do like a whole
Stealing if no one sees?
Nope. A whole switcheroo. We're gonna have shenanigans. I'm gonna dress up like the mascot, and then I'm gonna go and maybe talk to Spencer Rulwich or someone. They won't realize it's me, and then I'll get them to confess, and then I'm gonna catch them red-handed, and then I'm gonna solve this case. Also, where does this go? Probably somewhere sketchy. I'm into it. we were talking about something. Yep. We were talking about something, Hey, Legal Kimchi, how are you? How are you? Legal Kimchi, how are you? I'm so excited. I hope you're doing well. Oh, it's Legal Kimchi. I love him. Just for the record, I have much love for him, in case you don't know it. But you should know it. Let's see. Brad Pitt, thank you. Thank you. Brad Pitt, thank you. Legal Kimchi, how are you doing? How's the little one? How's the babe? How's the wee babe? How's it going? You should tell me all the things. So, Brad Pitt did basically activism. He has been for a while choosing to be in movies for not a lot of money just so they can get made.
This empty bottle of spirits does not belong to any known corporate brand. Suspicious residue detected.
Interesting. Sitting here with the babe, she's sleeping in your arms? Oh. High concentration of ethanol. Someone's brewing moonshine with antiseptics.
Excellent deduction, Inspector. Imbibing of unauthorized beverages is strictly prohibited under Rizzo's company law. Ingredients include antiseptic alcohol, sucrose, and unidentifiable miscellaneous organic material. Closest match. Counterfeit spirits available at the Piraeus spaceport.
What if this is how people are getting infected with the parasite? What if that's what's going on? We need to think about that. That's like a situation, just for the record. So, Brad Pitt did this with Babel.
Hey, you can see into the hotel rooms with that thing.
Ooh. Well, we'll have to see what's happening in the hotel rooms then. Also...
Could use this to draw a fine bead on something. Or someone.
Absolutely. Let's just be sketchy about the whole thing. I'm into it. So Brad Pitt and also Cate Blanchett, I believe it was, they both agreed to be in Babel for very, very little money. And they were, because nobody was going to go and give money to a film by a Mexican director with like a bunch of people who are not big names in Hollywood and that needs to film in Morocco and also like all these different places. So Brad Pitt and Cate Blanchett signed on to the film to play two parts and lowered their and didn't take a lot of money just so that producers were like, oh, Brad Pitt and Cate Blanchett did it? Oh, okay. So now we'll give them money funding and we'll give them money insurance. And he did the same thing with 12 Years a Slave. The reason why he's in that movie is because he wanted the movie to get made and he knew that if his name was attached to it, then producers and distributors would be interested and fund the film. And so it's interesting that there are people, Brad Pitt's one of them, I think Reese Witherspoon has done it a couple of times. There are a couple of actors who end up getting sort of big name recognition. Some of them don't, but some of them use, basically you get a certain level of privilege when you are a big name, and that if your name is attached to something, it's more likely to be greenlit. So there are some actors that are using their privilege to get films greenlit that wouldn't otherwise be greenlit by being part of those films and using their name status to get the film funded. So I think that's pretty cool, right? I think that's pretty cool. I've password locked this directory. Rizzo's candy has been scientifically proven to not give cavities. 5 out of 5 Rizzo company doctors agree, based on the lifespan of average colonists. That's worrisome. I've password locked this directory. Pretty sure no one in management can crack it, even if they do start checking up on us. Have fun. Let's look at celebrity sightings. I saw Spencer Woolrich order 4 different meals and send them all back. What a refined palate, H. The other day, Halcyon Helen was enjoying a Spectrum on the terrace. The stars really are just like the rest of us, P. Some of the Rangers started tussling in one of the fountains. The gardener Automex spent hours propping the flowers back up. What fun guys. Who are you people? Station bingo. Initial if you see one of the following on your shift. First to 3 wins, Teacup canids in matching outfits. D. This should really count twice, one for each canid. Someone falling off the edge of island. Tristan greenhouse. H. It's all windows. Why would anyone do this? It's a good question. Terror ray slams into hotel window. D. Raptidon or primal on hotel island. Worrisome. It's very worrisome. Let's go back to the root. So we're thinking about privilege, right? And I think about the ways in which day 523, clear skies. Day 524, distant storm, Phaeton steered around it. Day 525, distant storm, Phaeton adjusted course. Day 526, clear skies. Day 527, clear skies. Day 528, distant storm, Phaeton revised heading. Day 529, clear skies. This is actually very interesting. So this whole place, of course it's moving, right? That really only makes sense, right? This thing is a moving entity, which means it's flying around. Well, actually, here's the thing. It could have been, if it were in like a Lagrange point, then it could have been stationary, because it's, gravity locked, but clearly it is not. We're not in outer space. So we're just moving around, which means then you just try to avoid storms. That's very interesting. Which does mean if it's flying around and it's being course corrected by someone, if there's a person who's doing navigation, that means that person could make mistakes and fly everybody into a mountain. I just want to sort of put that out there, that if someone were drunk and irresponsible, they could fly you into a mountain. Just putting it out there. Am I winning, Max Ryder? Yes. Were the 5 tested colonist parasites? This is a good question. I'm just gonna... What's in here? Well, what seems to be in here is loot, which we do need. So, I mean, that is a... Ooh. Test. All colonists are parasites. I love you, Krellin. I love you. And yeah, so I think I was going to talk about privilege. Having privilege does not make you a bad person, because privilege is not something that is in your control. Like, you don't choose to have it, and you cannot choose to not have it. You can't just say, well, I don't want to have, I just don't want to have X privilege, because you have it. That's just kind of how it is. A person could do it by accident. An AI would do it on purpose. Must kill the meat bags. Oh, my buddy. My good old buddy. Right, so
customers are repeat customers.
Which makes me concerned about this parasite that makes everybody deliriously happy. This feels super, super sus. Let's see. Metro control station, round the clock protection to keep us safe. Currently, meteorological control station. Are you, I have got feelings. I've got that feeling. I got it. It's not a good feeling. Just, for the record. Thank you for rating me last week. Of course, most viewers hadn't okay, since the last time you rated me. Hey, if you are up and I see you, I'm gonna say hey, I like to give love. I feel like it's good. Also, it was super interesting, and I'm gonna clearly have to play.
We're never going to get a sequel to Terror and Monarch.
Yeah, I clearly have to play Alone Against the Dark. I mean, I'm currently playing.
No one will think you dress the same as him on purpose.
I was at breakfast first. If anything, he's dressed the same as me.
But we can part your hair on the other side, just in case.
Who are these people? That's what I want to know. That is what I want. Anyway, my point being that I have to play that one. I'm currently playing Crash Jones, but I clearly need to play Alone Against... I need to play all of them, is what... And there's a new one coming out as well, right? There's a brand new one coming out. I do not... Alone Against Electricity, that's not the right name, of course. I know that that's not the actual name for it. But you know what I mean. I do have to, I have to play those too. There's just too many games I want to play. This is the difficulty of my life, that there are too many games that I would like to play. It does not look like we're going to get anything cool here besides perhaps falling off the side of the island, so let's not do that. I've heard good things about the Alone. Yeah, I just played one of them, Alone Against the Flames. It was really fun. Yeah, Alone Against the Voltage. Yeah, something like that. Yes. You just said voltage, and now I'm thinking about the song. Danger, danger, high voltage, fire in the disco, fire in the Taco Bell, fire in the disco, fire in the gates of hell, danger, danger, high voltage. Do you know the song? Do you know that? If you don't know it, look it up, because it's brilliant, and be sure to look up the music video. I mention these things because I care. Yep, I mention these things because I care. Make sure you watch the music video if you have not done so already. If you don't, we're gonna go into this building. I don't know what it is, but we're gonna go in there. We're gonna eat food and save.
Company gives us a discount on Spectrum Brown.
Nice. But if it's brown, you should not drink it. Also, I just feel like I should check my, what's the word? Quest log is what I feel like I should do. Just side note. Perhaps. I think I've managed to get all of the Solitaire Call of Cthulhu games. I think I have the entire Alone Against series except for the one that isn't out yet, of course. But I've only played one. Oh, it's a navigation deck. Well, sure, let's go. And I've really cared for the Choose Your Own Adventure books, but these are fun. Some of them I really liked. Some of them I thought were really good. Some of them were less good. That's because anytime anyone says anything related to a song lyric, a song pops up in your head. This is true. AC/DC, no, it's something 6. Something 6. What's it called? Hold on. Don't you want to know what would keep starting fire? It's my desire. Give me a second. Give me a second. Electric Six is the band, and this is the music video. It will disturb you, I think, in an exciting way. I mean, I like being disturbed by things. Why? Who can say? I just want to know why the Taco Bell's in the disco. This is a very good question. Rizzo's, Spectrum Vodka, a glass for every class. Red and violet, like paranoia. Is there a button I can press? No? Oh. I would love to see what they have to say in this museum. Oh, it's a museum. This is cool. I feel like I should absolutely check out the museum.
Wow, the adjutant's own hired gun.
Thanks. We're gonna go on this tour. I want to see what's on our tour. You don't even have to leave the disco to get a taco. That's important because if you're dancing a lot, you burn a lot of calories, and then you might just need some tacos. And yes, it's a great video. It is a great video. I also got Alone on Halloween and The Thing in the Darkness from Steve Jackson's old Fantasy Gamer magazine. Ooh. Beta LSD magazine also had one called Overdue. I was just reading. Look, there's this. Can I tell you a secret? Well, if I tell you, it's not really a secret, but that's fine. It does not look like we've got any sort of major clues in here, but I think it's fine. So, we decided to do Crash Jones, but I was going to go and do something else first. And hold on, I have to pause because this is something that needs concentration. So there's a guy. I'm actually going to find the link because I think you will find it interesting. Hold on. Although, here we go. So there's a web page called One Shot Adventures. And it's a blog, and it's a collection of free role-playing material by the author, J.C. Connors. And J.C. Connors used to, like, he has designed adventures before in the past. Like, he's like, I think he did stuff for like RuneQuest or whatever. Like, he's like an old hat in these things. Yeah. Yes. And he has done some solo adventures. And the reason why, what I wanted to do, and I actually still plan on doing it. I just have to figure out, it's just going to take a little bit of logistical time. I've got to figure out the best way to do that logistical time. But what he's done, this is what I want to do. Where is it? Complete list of adventures. We want the solo adventures. Hold on. Dragon's Demise. Was that the one? I think that might be the one. Hold on. Give me a second. Beyond the Veil of Madness. That's the one. Was that the one? I think that might be the one. So he actually designed this. Yeah. Okay. Here it is. This is the blog post. I recommend it right here. So this guy, J.C. Connors, funny enough, I was listening to Frank Zappa. Oh, Frank Zappa. Yes. He was in the 90s. He was tasked with writing the solo adventure quest for RuneQuest, for the reboot, for the Sword and Sorcery reboot of RuneQuest called RuneQuest Slayers. And he worked on this, and this particular blog post is all about reminiscing on solo adventures and how many RPGs back in the day would have a solo adventure in the rule book to teach you how to play in a hands-on way, and how much he really loved them. And he did this one adventure way back in the day, but it never got published because the project got shelved. And so he basically redid this adventure for D&D, 5e, and GURPS Fantasy. And what I want to do is I want to run on stream. I want to stream both versions. I want to stream the 5e version of Beyond the Veil of Madness and also the GURPS Fantasy version of Beyond the Veil of Madness, because I think that would be really cool to do the same adventure twice in two different systems so we can all kind of see how the systems play differently. So that is one of my big goals, and I was thinking maybe I should do that in this break, but I'm doing Crash Jones instead. But please note that that is something that is on the deck. I was just trying to figure out the best way to do that, considering the irritatingness of the lack of GURPS support in BTTs. So that's really what I want to do. I was really excited about it. And I am going to do that. I just have to figure out, I just had to do prep, and I just have been a little bit too busy to do prep for something that's big and massive. Whereas I already have all the assets done for Crash Jones. So, ta-da. Shake your booty, and titties and beer. Yeah. Frank Zappa's super interesting. Authentic Rizzo's, that first album of his, so good. Authentic Rizzo's Armor. With over 30 articulated joints and reinforced plating in purple berry pink and nanner blue, Rizzo's guards enjoy the most fashionable armors in all of Halcyon. These brave troops show their corporate pride, whether they're battling dissidents, guarding factories, or simply giving our workers a friendly pep talk. Raise a glass of lemon slap to show your support for the corporate soldiers who protect us all. They do not protect us all. They protect corporate interests. That is all I'm going to say about that. So I do want to let you know that that is a thing that I'm really excited about. Did you hear that sound? Purpleberry Orchards. We're going to do suppose we'll go counterclockwise. I suppose that's how we'll do it. Yeah, so I want to go and run, and he's got a couple of solo adventures that he's, made into multiple versions. So I'm really, really excited about this possibility.
Gone. We're never gonna get a sequel to Terror on Monarch.
I just have to do work to get it prepared for prime time. The fabulous Birdie the Black Hole Holcomb, one of Rizzo's Rangers. All right, well, what do we have here? This tossball stick was used by none other than Birdie Black Hole Holcomb during the historic match between Rizzo's Rangers and the Happydale Farmers, where Birdie's triple tackle of rival hacker Claude the Bull Payne set the record for most simultaneous rules violations. Champions like Birdie stay energized with Rizzo's Purpleberry Munch. Be like Birdie. Enjoy your favorite Rizzo's product today. Is this a museum or is this an advertisement? I know the answer to that question. Oh, there's a vending machine. How very nice. I see it. Yes. Yes. So I'm just very sealed. I have got a question. The leads you found in the Pilot House weather station include that Birdie had planned to meet the mascot there and is now hiding out in the Spaceport's cantina. So we're gonna need... It's dead, actually. ¿Por qué no los dos? It's an advertisement museum. Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Let me just... Oh, I don't have any junk to sell. Huh. Bummer. Oh, well. So I feel like I want to go here, but I'm not quite certain how to get there. Well, we'll find it. We'll find our way. We'll find our way. It'll be fine. Once we take a tour of this museum, we're going to find Black Hole Birdie, and we're going to have some questions. Ooh, look at this. Free Range Fixer. Spencer Woolrich and Terra 1 together for the last time. Free Range Fixer, directed by Harriet Pelton Crumsworth. Watch the final adventures of Cascadia Bart on Terra 1 before it falls before the waves of the marauding philosophers. Starring Spencer Woolworth as Cascadia Bart. Oh. I suspect his star's on the wane. I realize it really looks like he's got a big motive to kill Halcyon Helen. I just don't think he did it. I just feel like that's a huge looking thing there. I feel like somebody else did it. I need to get access to this. Thank you. Thank you. Gigantower, stunt double. Oh, number 347. The legendary mount of Cascadia Bart, the frontier hero mobilized by Spencer Woolrich and Free Range Fixer. While the real Gigantor retired after filming and went to the home of a wealthy Byzantine collector, the ambitious shooting schedule and thrilling stunts of Free Range Fixer meant that many smaller-scale stunt doubles got to share the role of Gigantor. Number 347, displayed here, performed in a scene where Gigantor and Cascadia Bart are buried in a rock slide. While her shot was ultimately cut from the film, her valiant sacrifice lives on here. Did you know Gigantor was named after Rizzo's Gigantor energy drink, enjoyed on-screen by Cascadia Bart while he battled against the vile philosophists? Prove your loyalty to Halcyon and try Gigantor today, available at a Rizzo's vending machine near you. We need a lot more of this in Crash Jones. I mean, not a lot more, just like 3 more. I do like the aesthetic is very nice. I feel like there's the cantina where we're probably going to find Birdie, Black Hole Birdie, who we need to have a conversation with about what's going on. And you know what I'm saying. Oh, let's just pick up a half-melted battery. I'm sure that's super interesting. I don't know what for, but okay, so we got some kind of... They're probably set props. I wonder if they actually did filming here. You know how when we were over on the Wildlife Preserve, the rocks were clearly set pieces? I wonder if they did their filming for some of their serials here. Remember when you leave, out of low gravity falls are high impact. Ouch. Ouch. I want to destroy all these corporations. Museum, at least the British one, is a collection of carefully curated stolen artifacts. Rizzo's is mostly just advert unless the stickball stick was stolen, which could make that room a museum. Yeah, I feel like maybe some of these things are stolen, which makes it completely a museum. Because as... You know, Indiana Jones is really messed up. I have not seen the new movie. I'm just thinking about the whole thing about Indiana Jones going to other people's countries, stealing their stuff, like not even like in a way that ruins provenance, so you're not even going to be able to get a lot of good historical data out of them. And then this belongs in a museum.
Out of me. Don't sneak up on a fellow like that.
Hey, Delbert Wolcott.
You wouldn't happen to be the inspector investigating Halcyon Helen's murder. You look like you might fit the bill.
Oh, you asked when I was modding, but you don't ask how much time I needed to get ready for modding. Oh, not too much. I want to go and, like, get some food. Because I realized that I was not going to be cooking, so I ordered Thai food, and I've got leftovers, so I just have to heat it up and eat some food, and I'm going to feel pretty good about that, actually. So I think I can probably stick around, you know, like 15 after, 20 after. There are no good guys at Indiana Jones movies, no. And I think that it's so outrageous to think that it belongs in a museum and then doesn't even go to a museum. And we're supposed to, like, yeah, anyway. Pretty observant.
Hey, I got it right. You must be a real top runger to be in charge of a case like this. Oh, wait. That's why you're talking to me. I'll help however I can.
Okay. I'd rather know who I'm talking to before I divulge any information.
Delbert Wolcott, pilot house engineer, at your service. Forgive the impudence, but I'm still wondering who you are.
You know who I am.
Not many visitors out and about right now, aside from those damn terror rays.
Yeah, I'm investigating Halcyon Helen's murder.
Hey, I got it right. You must be a real top runger to be in charge of a case like this. Oh, wait. That's why you're talking to me. I'll help however I can.
What's that you're working on?
Ooh, this is my Terror Ray Grounder. Once it's working, it'll zap those winged sprats right out of the sky. Get it? Electricity? Grounding?
Yeah, I get it. Interesting contraption. You said it's not working?
Not yet. I'm missing a few parts before I can power it up. Actually, you seem capable, and I need some help getting those parts I'm missing. I can make it worth your while.
What parts do you need?
I've got an incomplete list here, but I'm a tad on the scatterbrain side. You mind taking a look at my terminal to certify I ain't forgetting anything?
Sure, I've already got some of the items you want, though.
Let's see. Looks like you've picked up some scrap and a leaky battery.
Yep.
Which is a good start.
Yep.
Come on back once you've grabbed all the parts, and we'll see about dealing with these terror rays.
Okay, well, I suppose I should probably figure out where your terminal is, but also, what do you know about Halcyon Helen? I have a conversation. I didn't want to leave the conversation. What are you doing?
You're back. Any luck finding what we need for the terror ray grounder?
Yep, here's what I found.
Thanks. I'll start working these things into my machine. Come back when you found the rest, and we can get to terror ray burning.
I want to talk to you about Halcyon Helen's murder. I assume I'm not going to be able to do so until I get you what you need, is what I assume is going to happen right now. Even though I feel like I should be able to do that. I feel like we should have a conversation about Halcyon Helen right about now. Fine. It's fine. I don't even know what pieces you need because I've not checked your terminal, which I suppose I should do. I'm just still... What is down here? What? Okay, well, we're gonna find your terminal, find out what else you need, and then I'm gonna ask about Halcyon Helen, because I feel like you know stuff, and I feel like you should tell me stuff. Short Round was a good guy, it's true. Face it, Indiana Jones works for Delta Green, they're just trying to protect humanity. Maybe. He knows nothing, he was just a kid, making his way in the world today. Makes everything he's got. Also, he was being taken advantage of by Dr. Jones. Dr. Jones, there's that, there was like a document that came out from, was it, McSweeney's? I think it was, which was like the denial of tenure letter from the university where Dr. Jones worked, and all the reasons why they were not giving him tenure and why they were actually quite disturbed by, his everything? Wow, look, phrenology. You know this place is really terrible. This place, of course they're into phrenology. In this place.
Or just a replica? Who cares? According to the sign, the originals only last 18 months. Rizzo's fertilizer is so potent that it eats right through the tanks. Imagine.
That doesn't sound good. That sounds bad. I'm just putting it out there. That sounds, it's nothing. See, it's nothing, but that's, what's his face? I'm gonna go and eat again. Because, apparently that's a thing that has to happen. Oh, y'all. Let's see. We need, what is this? This is gonna go, I already have health regeneration. Let's do, base health. Sergeant Schultz. Schultzy. To Rizzo's, I think that sounds like repeat business. Yeah, I know.
How grateful I am to the morale improvement program. Changed my life.
Do you have a parasite inside of you? I might have to shoot you later because that is like the vibe I'm getting. Just. Aha! Okay, I do need to find his terminal. I mean, I probably actually don't need to, but because I think I've got all of his parts. But I mean, I'd like to find his terminal because I bet there's other information there that would be useful. That said, yeah. I loved Hogan Heroes as a kid, not as much as Star Trek, but still. I used to watch that too. Design Obsolescence. You just remind me of the thing I wanted to finish talking about since you're here. There were so many crazy shows in syndication that I think I missed Carol Burnett. Oh. I loved the Carol Burnett show. I loved the Carol Burnett show. It was so good. It was such a good, she was so, like, that whole crew, they were all so talented. That was such a good show. I really loved that show. But, Max, you reminded me that I wanted to bring up 1970s science fiction TV shows, especially those aimed, maybe early 80s too.
Greeting protocols initiating. Greeting protocols cancelled. Phaeton cannot extend pre-programmed pleasantries at this time. Error. Phaeton requires an attitude adjustment.
Younger folks, so I'm thinking about, if you remember ISIS, Shazam, the Powers of Matthew Starr?
Affirmative.
The Powers of Matthew Starr? Space Academy. Do you remember that one, there was the guy in the pyramid? He was like the blonde dude who was like an alien who showed up and he's got the little medallion. He was very tan, so his face was kind of the same color as his hair, was a little bit weird. It was like the Phoenix. I think that's what it was called, the Phoenix. Do you remember that one? The Phoenix. Space Academy. Begin the 80s. There's like Starman, the TV show. There was a James Doohan in Space. Yes. There was a TV show that was like a mid-season replacement that came on after V was canceled. It was called Otherworld, about a family, a dad and a mom who are both archaeologists, and their two kids who are, for some reason, he's taking his kids on his investigation of the pyramids in Egypt, and they fall through a portal in time and space and are sent to different dimensions. Well, that's very, very bad. How have we not crashed?
Gyroscopic misalignment creates an increasing likelihood of a critical flight path error.
This seems bad.
Outcomes include steering the Eridanos atmospheric complex into a storm, resulting in the destruction of the Eridanos atmospheric complex. Steering the Eridanos atmospheric complex into a lower altitude, resulting in the extreme compression of the Eridanos atmospheric complex.
This is bad. I'm going to listen.
Steering the Eridanos atmospheric complex into a higher altitude, resulting in engine failure, followed by a rapid descent into a lower altitude, and the destruction of the Eridanos atmospheric complex. Each of these outcomes represents an unacceptable violation of Rizzo's productivity standards for the Eridanos atmospheric complex. Clarification of clarification. Phaeton must be realigned with the ship's internal gyroscope in order to calculate a flight path with an acceptably low margin of error.
Why is no one fixing this?
Captain Mabel Thompson is scheduled to perform routine realignment.
She's probably dead.
Captain Mabel Thompson is overdue to perform routine realignment.
Land of the Lost, yep. Yeah, I'm getting that. Where is Captain Thompson?
Error. Phaeton cannot determine the whereabouts of Captain Mabel Thompson without gyroscopic realignment.
Yep, I get the point. How do I fix this?
To achieve attitude adjustment, acquire the gyroscopic alignment key, or GAC, and convey it to the gyroscope management terminal in engineering.
Okay.
Utilize the GAC to interface with the gyroscope management terminal and execute the gyroscopic axial realignment procedure. This will achieve an attitude adjustment.
Oh, wait. You're telling me all I have to do is get a key and press a button on the terminal?
Affirmative.
And no one else has done this yet?
Captain Mabel Thompson is scheduled to perform routine realignment. Error. Captain Mabel Thompson is overdue to perform routine realignment.
Yeah, okay, I will handle it.
Rizzo's thanks you in advance for your assistance. Please note that Rizzo's does not pay for uncontracted labor, but a member of HR will issue a favorable remark on your permanent record. Access to engineering levels granted.
Thank you. Hey, remember when we had that whole conversation about how it would be really bad that, you know,
Suspended. Checking for
you know,
gyroscopic
it's
alignment.
all here.
Error. Phaeton is
Okay, let me leave. I also still need this guy's terminal. Hey, everybody, I feel like something's wrong. I feel like we've done a lot of really productive things in the game so far, and that's a little weird. I feel like we might even... I mean, we're not going to solve the murder today, but you know what I mean. I am, however, going to catch up on chat, because I feel like chat has really exciting things to tell me. Land of the Lost. And of course, if we go a little bit further back in the 70s, we're going to get like the big famous ones like $6 Million Man, Bionic Woman, Wonder Woman, Space 1999, right? Like all those are like Battlestar Galactica, Kitchen Brandon asks, what is the thought on the behind the military canister cup thing, the bottom right corner? I will tell you in a second. Watch more of the early 90s and the 90s Mission Impossible. Oh, yeah. Gak, isn't that used to dump... No, you can't... That was slime. Green, yellow yuck and green slime. Was that the one where they find it? Yeah. Marshall, Will, and Holly on a routine expedition to make the greatest earthquake ever known. Slee Saxon Trigger, yeah. Sinbad, yes. Land of the Lost, Hercules, Xena, Shazam, Dallas, yeah. There was a Robin Hood series when Xena aired. Oh, yeah. The original Mission Impossible, that's 60s, though. Time Tunnel, yep. I like both Cylons. Let's look at the messages. There was something else. Also, there was, like, in the early 80s, you had things like Tales of the Gold Monkey, Voyagers. Tales of the Gold Monkey wasn't really sci-fi, though. But Voyagers, the one with the guy from Enterprise, the Quantum Leap. Sequest, yes, Sequest. Yeah. Woo, tripper, woo. Yes, love the Tales of the Gold Monkey, yep. Voyagers were cool, yep. Sliders, Sequest, yep. There were a lot of things, actually, that were kind of sci-fi-ish, right? It's funny, because we always like sort of... I think the story we tell is that basically once Star Trek was canceled in the 60s, there was basically no sci-fi until TNG happens. But that's just not true. There were sci-fi shows. They didn't always last long, and they were often in syndication, but, you know, we had some. Wait, has the captain even read my proposal yet? I know she's not big on details, so try this next time you talk to her. If I don't stop those terror rays from nesting in the engines, there won't be a gyroscope for her to realign. Yes, I know that's a later problem, but don't mention that part. Delbert, good news. The plans were approved and we're sending you the requested materials. You can find your cabling in the terraforming control room. We don't have any spare screwdrivers, but try some fork and forks, the dirtier the better. A little grease actually helps loosen the screws. Regards, Walt. Hey, got everything we needed there, which means experience points, I assume. I feel like I'm missing some of these shows. I feel like there were like other sorts of like sci-fi and sci-fi adjacent shows from that sort of middle moment that I'm forgetting.
Oh, I know you. You're the adjutant's right hand.
Sequest DSV, Tech War sliders. What else are we missing? What else are we missing? So I think that our guy is right up here, but I do not want to talk to him just yet because I feel like our weird engineer person might have some info that will be useful. So I want to get him his stuff so we can talk to him and, you know. Oh, Buck Rogers. Thank you, Krellin. How could I forget Buck Rogers? Oh my gosh. Buck Rogers, which I loved. Also, The Greatest American Hero. That was such a great theme song. Good opening theme song. Greatest American Hero. Yeah. Oh, I love that. I remember I used to dream about what would happen if I got one, if I got that suit. That because I was a kid. Yeah.
You're back. Any luck finding
Lost in Space. Although a little bit early, that's 60s. Yep, here's what I found.
Excellent. I should finally be able to get this thing working. Here, take this. It's the least I can do
thanks.
for all your help against those leathery abominations.
Cool.
Oh, wait. There's one more thing. You don't happen to have a pinwheel, do you?
You mean one of these?
Exactly. Wow, you really are thorough, Inspector.
Point of order.
Hey, for helping me put the finishing touches on this thing.
Point of order. I'm off.
Thanks again for your help, Inspector.
I have a point of order. Also, side note, I have to eat food. I would like to point out that my obsessive collecting of materials that I learned from playing Zork has paid off in the form of me having everything I need, not having to walk around back out there again to find stuff. Please note my hoarding tendencies. You don't have anything to tell me about her at all, do you? Well, forget you then. Not at all interesting. We're gonna go up here and find Birdie, what's his face? Star Trek, oh yes, the animated series, absolutely. Krellin, yes, Star Trek animated series, 100%, that 100% counts. Yes, absolutely. Trooper is looking for American sci-fi between Star Trek, TOS, and TNG. Yes. Although I suppose we could also talk UK and Europe. But the only big sci-fi show I know from Germany is the Raumschiff Orion, which I think is basically 60s, Star Trek era. But of course, Doctor Who, right? Doctor Who, Blake 7. Those would be big ones. Of course, I watched those too. I had a massive crush on Servalon because...
I could never work for Slug. They're not recognized by the board.
Of course I did. Blake 7, the things we didn't get a lot of... Forever People for teens, yeah. You're just going by shows you remember watching, yeah. Tomorrow People, yes, I remember Tomorrow People with 2 O's, right? I feel like there was, what else was there? Oh, do you remember that there were these 2 weird shows that I was a little bit too old for, but they're a bit more for my sister who was younger? Small Wonder and Out of This World. Those were like shows that came on at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe 2, 3, something like that. Like very much kind of like after school time. And Small Wonder was about the scientist who creates a robot that looks like a little girl and always wore that same outfit and had magic powers. And then Out of This World was about a half alien, half human daughter. Like family sitcom aimed at kids with, oh. Huh. Okay. Aren't we supposed to... Do I have the key? Journal. Let's see. Phaeton's monster. I've got to go down to engineering. And also I've got to search room A2. That's back in the hotel. That's back at the hotel. I've got to find Birdie at the spaceport. which is back over at that one island, so that's fine. I don't have to worry about that just yet. That's back at the hotel. So we have to just go back down into engineering, I think. And let's do that. We're going to finish an entire island today, I think, and I'm feeling really good about it. Nickelodeon flirted with young targeted sci-fi, but I think those are post-TNG, yeah. Is that an older version of the one they did a few years ago? Out of This World, yeah. Oh, Alf! Yes, yes, thank you, Artie Snack. Alf certainly counts. 100% Alf would count. Absolutely, Alf would count. Oh, yes, Mork and Mindy. Oh, Vulpes. Yes, Mork and Mindy. Absolutely. Yes. I need to go to the engineering room, which maybe it's not here. I'm gonna go back outside because it might not be in here, although it might be in there. Mork and Mindy, absolutely. I do still get the 7 days theme stuck in my head whenever anyone refers to 7 days for any reason. Yes, me too. Misfits of Science. If you remember that one, that one didn't get the Johnny Quest. Ooh, Kitchen Brown, that's a good question. I think it might have. I'm not certain if it was, but I certainly saw it in syndication. So I think so. I don't know. You know what? I think we might actually have to go back in that building. Just wander around a bit. We're going to do it. Yeah, we have to go back in the building. We're going to find it. We're going to fix the thing so we all don't die in a giant ring of fire. Weird Science. Oh, Johnny Quest is older. You can tell from the graphics. Weird Science, the movie, that's that time period. Yeah, Johnny Quest was 70s. Yep. We can hit the 70s. That's fine. I feel like we're missing bunches and bunches, right? Oh, Johnny Quest premiered in 64. It does have that 1964 kind of, what do you call it? That kind of 1964 sort of animation style that's like later Hanna-Barbera. Astro Boy, although I'm pretty sure that's pretty old as well. I'm pretty sure Astro Boy is 60s, right? Pretty sure. But of course it's tricky because I was watching all of those sort of Japanese live action stuff, right? Space robots, and of course, oh gosh. Oh, sorry. Yeah, late 50s, early 60s, right? It's like really one of the first anime that sort of comes over. But now you just reminded me there are all those like Captain Harlock, Robotech, Star Blazers, all of that, right? There were all of those. Astro Boy and Kimba, Thundar the Barbarian, there are a bunch of sci-fi. Battle of the Planets. My sense of timing is super messed up, so never take my word for a thing. You know, I'm gonna take your word for things. Cartoons, right? That's just cartoons. Missed a bunch of sci-fi cartoons in our excitement. Transformers, yes. Thundercats, Silverhawks. Oh gosh, how'd that one go? It was Mask. Mask. And the mighty powers that will save the day. Mask. No one knows what lies behind the masquerade. Mask. Always riding on Venom's trail. You see the laser's edge far away. Well, this seems somewhat Okay. Is that our captain? Cause that looks bad, everyone. Oh, Knight Rider. Oh, okay. Knight Rider, Manimal, Silverhawk's my favorite because they're partly metal, partly real. That's how I learned that metal was fictional, and it's true. Things are, when it's too metal, it's fictional. Right. So we've got that, right? So Knight Rider, then you've got Conan the Adventurer, Thundercats. You also then have Manimal. You have Viper, Mantis. Yes, 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 and yes. By the way, y'all, I've probably got, I'm looking at my timing, probably got like 10, 15 minutes or so. So just so you know it. So this way I get like the full good 3 hours in. And it's not a bad thing. Okay, so here's a door. That's great. Just want to give ourselves a good look-see of where we're at so I can figure out where I want to start ourselves. Yeah. There's a giant marauding creature over there. So this, by the way, is not the way to where our mission is. So we'll just go through this door. Because if it's not the way where our mission is, that means it's probably a dead end, which means we can loot and walk right back out and not take any time. This is my, by the way, my strategy for many things. Try to find dead end rooms that I can just loot that I know will not lead me to new areas. If you're looking for 50 to 20 after you've got 5 to, yeah, that's what I've got. Yeah, this is what I'm looking at. Do you remember my Captain, the Legend of Zelda cartoon? Yeah. If you're interested in the history of the various cartoons, check out the Secret Galaxy channel on YouTube. Ooh. Secret Galaxy. Will you leave a link in Media Musings so I can watch? Because that sounds up my alley. I feel like there are a couple of Eridanus Storm Survey. That looks like blood. Just gonna put it out there. That looks like blood. And also, what is this? It's a safe, right? Yes. Yeah, it's a safe.
Making it look easy.
I know. I'm a bartender and a hacker who steals all of the things. I have a question for you all, everybody. It's a question that I want to bring up. And I know that your answer is not going to be the real answer because there's like an actual...
Easy.
There's like a more obvious answer than the answer. I'm going to ask you a question, but the answer is there's a different answer. So anyway, do you really need another deep dive mental derailer channel? Yes, because I like to have YouTube video essays up when I am doing emails, right? So I tend to look at video essays on YouTube when I'm like doing emails, that sort of thing. So it's a nice sort of a thing in the background. If you go in the 90s, oh yeah, X-Men. Yep. So everybody, can we have the conversation that I suppose is like the obvious conversation to have? Baldur's Gate 3? It is not next on my list, and it would be on the Mac, which means we would not be playing it until after I'm done with Disco Elysium at the earliest, and I think I have something else on tap. So it's not like we're going to actually get there anytime soon, but I also have... See, the thing is, I have Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, and I've not played them, and I feel like I should just play them, you know what I mean? That's what I feel like I should do. You know? Do you have thoughts? Y'all, give me thoughts, y'all. Give me your Baldur's Gate 3 thoughts, and also Baldur's Gate 1 thoughts. All of the Baldury gates. The gates that are full of Balderdash. The Balderdashery gates. Also, I feel like, yeah, I mean, yeah. Come on, we're not allowed to play BG until like 2025. See, this is what I'm thinking, right? Like, I just feel like maybe it's too early. And note where you don't have to play. Are you sure? Watch some Let's Plays instead. Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 don't seem like the sort of games you play, actually. Really? Why not? Why not? Why not? I like a good, an RPG. Oh, isometric RPGs. Oh, you know,
No, don't you frown at me.
What happened was that let's figure out where people are. Oh, hi. Excuse me. What's going on? Excuse me. I was gonna play Pillars of Eternity. I was playing it offline, and then I realized that I didn't want to play it without you all. That like it wasn't as fun if you weren't there. Same thing with I was gonna play I played like an hour's worth of what's that game everybody likes? The space one. The space one where you have like a squad. Not Pathfinder. XCOM. I played 1 hour. XCOM. I played 1 hour of XCOM and I thought it was really, really fun. And I was like, I cannot play this offline though, because I just feel like we would have fun. I wanted to share it with you. I wanted to share the experience of playing XCOM with you. So I stopped playing it. Because I was like, oh, I want to play this. I want to play this with the gang because I think that'd be really fun. So I stopped. Yeah, the space one. XCOM does not take place in space, and I still figured out what he meant. No, but like they're aliens, and aliens come from outer space. So you know, I didn't. You know, Krellin knew what I meant. They're aliens. You love XCOM. Yeah, so I played an hour of it, and it was really fun. And I thought, oh, this is fun, but it's got that cool turn-based stuff. And I thought, oh, this will be really neat, but I really feel like I should play this with the battle buddies. I think that we'd have I think we'd have fun playing it together. So there's just a lot of blood here, everybody. So I stopped playing it because it just felt like something that we should play together. So, and I think I kickstarted Pillars of Eternity, and I played a little bit of it, but that was, I think, way back when I wasn't able to finish it. No, I didn't get very far, and why was that? Did I stop for... I didn't stop because I didn't like it. I think I stopped because I had, like... Let's fix this problem, shall we? Let's fix this problem. And once we fix this problem, then we will have, I think, solved the conundrum of this entire island. And let's see. Oops. If we're talking the new XCOM, Enemy Unknown, right? Not the original pixel graphics. Yeah, the one that I got on Steam, yeah. Oh man, Vulp was my first audience named character died in the Action After blog series I was doing. That was a big one. Ooh, see, this sounds fun. See, I can get us all killed. Yeah, I want to do it. Have I shared my XCOM Let's Play After Action blog series? No, you have not. Would you please share it in video game musings? Video game musings, I think. Yes. Would you please share it? Because I want to read it and see what's going on there. Also... Oh, hey. For the record, I actually think we are going to do something really big. Turns out Canids can hold these hosts. Let's do this. Everybody use your powers, or don't. This, by the way, is not the way we're supposed to go, but I'm just trying to be thorough, circumspect. odd. And we've got, I think I'm gonna stop at 3:30 is what I'm gonna do, because we're being really, really, really productive. So if I stop at 3:30, I've got good amounts of time to get into modding and make a sandwich probably. Reminds me of watching Negorix play BG, and she actually killed off one of the first companions. Ooh. This sounds like a game I'm gonna really like. So look, I only played 1 hour of it, and I was like, oh, this is really fun. And I was like, I have to play it with you also. You know it. But I also think it's true that I don't think I can play... Okay, so this is what I think. Tell me your thoughts. Negorix. Oh, Negorix. So this is my thought. This is gonna be really weird. I feel like my niche... Well, except when I'm on it and I can play the Game of the Year things sometime in the year. But you know what? I don't have a thing. I just, you know what? It's whatever. But I was going to say that I feel like my thing is playing games that came out a couple of years ago. So people are like, oh yeah, I remember that game. That was a couple of years ago. I think I'm like the late train person is what I think I am. But like, I don't think that's bad. I know that everybody and their mother is streaming Baldur's Gate 3 right now, which I feel like is going to just make the whole thing very saturated. And I just don't feel like that's even necessary. This person doesn't have a leg. Yeah, you haven't played Game of the Year within the year for years. I know, and I really want to like... Ooh, let's hack. Let's unlock the breaker room. Nice. Let's view recent requisition requests. Spectrum's round, 20 units, J Fields, comments. Time to celebrate all our hard work this quarter, fulfilled. Sodium vapor lamp, 3 units, L Vargas, comments. Please, I've been trying to make repairs in the ductwork for a week, but I can't see a damn thing. I got lost for 16 hours last time I went in. I'm starting to see things in the dark, pending. 1 unit quartz vacuum tube, anonymous, comments. One of these tubes in the break room mysteriously shattered. Need to replace, fulfilled. Toss ball, 5 units, J Fields, comments. The team needs to blow off some steam. A little rec time would do wonders for morale, fulfilled. Knee guards, 1 unit, L Vargas, comments. I'm crawling around in the guts of this place all day and my knees are all but shattered, pending. It just does not really feel like they take care of their workers. Is that just me? Am I just reading too much into it? Am I being rude? It just does not feel like they are taking care of their workers is all I'm trying to say. That is really... That's the hot take that I'm giving you. Well, we opened up something. I hope that was a good thing, what we did. Yeah. If you want to do that, Trooper, you need to stop playing games that take you 2 to 10 years to play, like Outer Worlds or Disco with the Long Dark. Play shorter games. I rarely ever play Game of the Year games. They tend to be largely popular. Oh, no. Artie, this is specifically the indie game, the Independent Games Network, the IGN Indie Game Awards. And those are usually like really small little... And they're also usually short. The Excellence in Narrative winners. I will say what's really good about them is that they're usually short. So playing them usually means I can get through most of them and then do another run. Oh, hi. Excuse me. I was not prepared for that.
That's how it's done, Captain.
Was like, surprise. Canid. Oops. Happy 5 years of the Trooper Outer Worlds playthrough. Hey, drummer boy, how are you? Here's a 5 more. I will say that once we finish Disco Elysium, that I should probably play some of the games of the year, the Narrative Excellence and Narrative Games of the Year, do a run of those, see how many we can get through. Look, most of those Excellence and Narrative games are really short. Was Disco Elysium nominated? Am I making that up? Are we playing Disco Elysium because it was nominated? Maybe it wasn't nominated, and I actually am just making all that up. That's probably what's happening. I'm probably just making it up. Oh, hey, our captain, Mabel Thompson, is not dead, as it turns out, which is great. I feel good about that. Okay. So let me hold on. She's over there. We should talk to her, but I want to get myself my bearings first. We walk in this way. There is a bunch of stuff over there. There is a doorway here, which I don't know where it takes us. That is going to be distracting for me. Oh, no, no problem. It is just a loot room. The reason why we didn't stop is because I was like, oh, I've got...
Why'd they lock it up?
I know, because I had too many directions to go, and I knew I'd forget something if I quit right now. And we can just loot this room.
Ooh, what'd you find?
All the good stuff. And then I won't make sure I miss anything when we start. And that's... Okay. I was a little worried about... I was just like, oh no, too many doors. I'm going to forget which ones I did and which ones I didn't do. Oh. You're playing Disco... Oh, that's right, Vulpez. Nice. Ask after Disco Elysium. More games of the year. Oh, let's just hack that. I'm doing well. Been really busy delivering food with DoorDash for the past month or so. Been really nice to see the bird off keeping my alive off my music. Oh, yeah. So tell me, how is your music going? We've been here, right? We walked through here already? We've walked through here already. Yes, we have. Yes? No? We have, right? Yes, because this is where... Yeah, we have. We've walked through here already. We did a little loop-de-loop. Let me just make sure in our map. Oh, there are multiple levels here. Interesting. It's fine. I'm just gonna set ourselves up for success so that we know where we're going next time, so we don't forget anything. But I think actually this is pretty good. We did not go down this way, which we could go down, but Mabel Thompson is right here, and I think that's the more obvious way to go. So we're going to go and put ourselves right in front of Mabel Thompson. We'll put our gun away.
Just taking a break in here while someone else does the work. I've run with that type.
And as the captain, I specifically recall locking this door, and I do not recall giving anyone permission to unlock it.
Yeah, don't tell me you've forgotten already.
I haven't forgotten.
Hmm?
That was a test, and you passed marvelously. Excellent job, you.
I didn't mean to talk to her.
Now that you found me, I suppose you can help me take care of this mess once and for all.
You've got that backwards, but let's hear
Meet
this.
me above the gyroscope. I think I know a way to take care of these monsters once and for all.
Oh, really? What do you have in mind?
I can't say. Prior operational experience has disinclined me from sharing my plans too early, lest a subordinate criticize them. But I assure you, my idea is brilliant. Once we're there, I can deal with the Canids and realign Phaeton, thus saving the day.
Any suggestions for reaching the gyroscope?
You could take the ramp up from here. It might help you avoid some of the automechanicals. See you at the gyroscope.
You're gonna be dead, aren't you? Like when I find you at the gyroscope, you're gonna be dead, right? This is the story, because whenever you don't tell me things now, you end up dead.
Behind you. I'm just plotting my route.
We're gonna quit now. I'm irritated at her. It's fine. I'm not gonna like... You know, I do all this work to save the universe. Whatever. This is all I'm saying. What I'm saying is whatever. So this is the ramp up to where we need to go. I get that, and I see it, and I know it, but that is not where we're gonna start off next week, because that's like the clear, obvious route of where we need to go. We're gonna go and check out that weird side area first. This is Phaeton's monster. Yeah, we're gonna go this other direction. When we start off next week, next Saturday, we're gonna head this way, because why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? We should. Speaking of maps, I wish there were there is a vending machine. I could make it there and back. We'll just stay. We're just gonna stay. What's the word? Encumbered. It's fine. It's fine. I think it's fine. Let's just save. We're gonna save. That's fine. We're going. Because I've got to say goodbye to you all and say what's what. Over at the data, yes. Hey, everybody. Hi. The whole that could do well versus what I actually want. Yeah. Music's good. You've been doing a bunch of stuff and not feeling a ton of pressure to release things, but pretty soon what I've been working on will trickle out into the streaming platforms and such. You should let me know. Also get to work to do kind of weird stuff that I've wanted to try, but I know I won't make any money, so that's been fun. Yeah. The whole what I could do well versus what I actually want to make. Yeah. I think that being able to do the things that are weird and strange that won't make money is also a beautiful and wonderful thing. Yeah. Just thinking about you, because I was playing Crash Jones and I was listening to the music that you made and just having a really lovely time listening to the starting soon music, the interstitial music is what I call it. It's just nice stuff, All right, everybody. This is our stream for today. I have got a half hour before I go and mod for Gen Con. I will be modding from 4 p.m. till 10. Let me see. No, I lied to you. I am modding from 4 p.m. to midnight. Oh. 4 p.m. till midnight tonight is my Gen Con modding. So that's me. That's what I've got going on today. A good 8 hours of modding. So, you might see me popping into the Discord here and then, but the way that modding is set up this year, that we have to monitor all 3 channels at once. So I've got like I have 3 monitors. So I've got Gen Con channels on each of the 3 monitors, and then I am looking at all 3 of them simultaneously. So I'm pretty distracted. So I probably can't come in too much, but I hope so. As always, it's amazing stream. Thank you. Let me see. What do I want to tell you? Today's Saturday. There's no stream, no Carousel Court on Sunday. Also, tomorrow I'm modding, and I'm going to take my bike ride. Monday, you can find me for the season finale of Montreal by Night. I am pretty certain that I will get my face shown on Monday. I'm pretty certain that will happen. My vampire, who I've been hooded this entire time because my character does not look the same at 3 Humanity. Let's see. Tuesday will be Motor City Hollow Crown. The Vampire Night by Night. Montreal by Night is over at Wandering Games channel at 8:30 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern. On my channel will be Motor City Hollow Crown, Session 6. And then Thursday will be Disco Elysium, 7 p.m. here. Friday will be Crash Jones and the Library of the Dead, 7 p.m. I'm having so much fun with that game, y'all. That is such a fun game. I really am enjoying that so much. I'm having such a good time. I still need a pirate's scarf, though. That is really a thing that I'm lacking. And let me see. And then Saturday should be more Outer Worlds. We did so much today. I'm really excited. Wouldn't it be really cool if we could finish the Outer Worlds before the school year starts? It's unlikely, but wouldn't it be cool? I mean, we'll find out. If you don't get your face shown, you should end the stream and with a jump scare reveal instead. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, Krellin, I love that. If I don't get my face shown, I will end the stream with a jump scare reveal instead. I love it, and that is exactly what I'll do. Oh, I also wanted to... So here's the thing. I now have gotten a new way to do the makeup, which I haven't tested yet, so I should probably sometime tomorrow test this alternate method of doing the makeup. Because I just got some... I've been doing it one way, and I think there's another way to do it, and it might be better, because if I do it the other way, anyway, it's about detail. So I'm going to probably do a makeup test tomorrow. We'll see. All right, I'm going to go. I'm going to eat food. And before I do, is there anybody that we should raid to give love? Okay. Krellin said no raids, only eat, and I'm going to listen to Krellin. Krellin is right. I'm going to go, everybody. It has been lovely hanging out with you all. You all have been so great. I want to tell you, I am super overworked right now. I'm getting not as much sleep as I'd like, and I've got way too much on my plate, like way too much on my plate, and more work stuff happening. But at this moment, after having played the Outer Worlds with you all and having this really great Crash Jones the night before, and having the ability to get a little bit of stuff done that I want to do myself, like for my own stuff, I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really, really good. And part of that is the great community that we have built together. So thanks, everybody. Thanks. I'm going to go. And I will catch you all on, oh, yeah, you can find me, TripperSJP, here on YouTube, Academic Foxhole, on Twitter, and also on Patreon. The Patreon goes to help pay for the cast and music and art and all that good stuff. And probably have to commission more art soon. So thank you for supporting and helping, and hang out in our Discord. We'll also have a merch shop. I'm going to announce new merch soon, the Crash Jones collection. So yeah, thanks everybody for being awesome. And I'm going to go and eat some chicken pad thai. Yeah, take care everybody. Bye. Catch you on the flip side.